What is that?
Get out the beach! Get out the beach! Hans, get off the beach!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 557th episode of the GeekVerse podcast. I am Logan as Goat Trust now. Check out Marvel Alliance, you'll understand the reference. And I'm joined by...
I am the Risen Beast, the person that apparently was on the Office Space retro, so that's nice.
No, you're not. You're Nick. That's who
You're
you
in the
are.
movie.
Yeah, Dylan, you can go check out our Office Space retrospective is live now. Thank you to Jack Grant for submitting that. And Dylan had brought up that you two had a similar features, and Taylor whipped up this little piece. And my much respected Taylor, as you guys are literally in the same pose, like your head, everything, your swivel. So yeah, there you
And
go.
still don't look alike, but okay.
You don't think so?
Not at all.
The toque ruins it, man.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a certain image of you that would fit perfectly.
I have a cuter nose than him. He looks like he was in a lot of fights in his day. His
Wow.
face got
God.
deformed.
Just look in your mirror in 20 years from now. That's what you're gonna see.
I
Brother.
am the loser of the Choice Award. Dylan Muss.
I'm the former Taylor Field.
You're
Sorry, I
last
thought
one
you were.
to-
Sleeping at the
I thought
wheel
you
over
didn't go, Kirklin. I was waiting for you.
He
Where were you
technically never
10
said,
seconds ago?
He technically never said Kirkland though, so I'll give him
Oh,
he said the
okay,
Risen
there you go.
Beast.
Kirkland Patzer.
he was the risen beast and stuff like that. But yes, we're here, 557. Nice comment for the storm, because as we were talking about today in our Discord, which you go check down below, the link is all updated and everything like that. But in our personal one, Kirkland, you were talking about that you're not prepared. You were Guardians is a week away. Literally,
It snuck up on me. Yeah, I don't use like the actual Apple calendar all that much, but like holidays will pop on there, like upcoming holidays, and then all of a
Apple
sudden it just
calendar?
said, yeah, like on my iPhone, there'll be like the Apple calendar,
What calendar do you use?
like the Google
Definitely the
calendar or
Apple
something,
calendar.
my
So
physical one.
Do you use the Google calendar that is like the GV calendar?
Yeah, that's got holidays on there too. But it's just like on
Yeah, and
the
it had
iPhone,
Guardians.
it's like a widget, and it just so that I know like what day of the week it is. It's good to reference. And then I guess when I buy my movie tickets, technology, it just automatically like throws it into my calendar, which is kind of handy, I guess, as a reminder. Because today, it just saw 7 days away, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and it was like, oh my gosh, like that is actually 7 days away. That is, I don't know.
Do you have to
I think this
return your
year's just
tickets?
flying.
Yeah. Do you have your tickets?
You have to return your tickets. Is it
Why don't I
caught you
return
that
my
off guard?
tickets? No, I don't return my tickets. I got prime seats. Come on now. Bought those probably the minute they came online.
Why
Maybe
would
not.
it be
Maybe
returning
hours.
them?
I was just being facetious. Like, oh, it creeped up on me. I'm not prepared. I got to return my tickets.
I need more time in advance. I need 2 weeks heads up.
All
We
right.
went there. This
Yeah,
early.
apparently, yeah, you know.
3
But yeah,
minutes.
check that out. Next week we'll be back with Guardians. Hopefully that'll be a good one. Obviously, you can check out our Ant-Man review. That was a bit more mixed. I'm hoping it's a bit more loved around the boards and a nice big juicy episode. But yeah, this week we got, like I just talked about, the Office Space retrospective. Go check that out. We'll talk about again how you can unlock certain retrospectives. But again, thank you to Jack Grant and our other Patreon producers, Aaron Braden, April Darkness, Joshua Wright. Yeah, you weren't prepared there. I got him, but I sneaked him, but he still got
I need
up
a
by time.
week's heads up. I need that.
yeah, go back, let me know. But yeah, thank you to the producers and everything like that, and all the other patrons and listeners. Couldn't do any of this without any of you. All the links are down below. Ad-free episode, early episodes, exclusive episodes. We're gonna talk about more about Patreon in a second. What else is released this week? Dylan, what's going on SideQuest this week?
Yeah, there's always a lot of good stuff going on. We got, standard side quests, and we also have the Prey retrospective, the final episode of the Arcane retrospective. But yeah, always good stuff going on over there.
Yeah, and then so next week, I think it's me and Taylor just fully taking over SideQuest, right? Because Redfall, is that the week after, or is it?
I'm also doing like a Zelda ranking, so that'll drop as well. So you still
Oh.
got 2 episodes next week. But yeah, when are you guys doing your Star Wars?
On the
thing, do
it's
you
gonna
know?
drop on May the 4th. The
May the
review.
4th, look at
Yeah.
that.
So that's why, and it's literally Yeah, so it's a week away from. So yeah,
Yeah.
because we're filming some stuff this weekend, but that gives us a week with the game, and I don't know if Tara will beat it. I'll be scurrying away.
Man,
You know.
Like that was one of the worst experiences of my life when we did the first one. And I was getting I had to rush through that
He's
game
had an easy life,
to beat
Travis.
it. No, like the
He needs a
getting
week in
through that
advance.
getting through that game in time for the review, and some of those fucking boss battles made me scream, made me yell, and I just couldn't fucking do it. But I managed to do it in time for the review, but man, it was a fucking nightmare.
Scream like Jamie Lee and everything
I'm
everywhere
getting
all at once.
I'm getting PTSD now. Like it'll depend on how these boss battles go in this game.
I've heard this game's also very buggy, so just be warned, I guess.
I was just about to bring that up. Even like I'd listened to what was it, Greg Villo's review where he gave it like a 5 out of 5. And he talked about all the bugs he had, and he just thought, and which is great. And many people said that like the game's so good it can rise above that. But I've also seen some other threads of like it crashed this many times and and stuff. So we'll save it for our review, but I just don't understand. It's this high profile fucking game, and it's like being made in a tin can.
Only
I'm sure it's
Star
not,
Wars
but-
game.
Yeah,
Out
only
in, like,
yeah,
how many years?
critically acclaimed Star Wars game too. You know, of course you got lag on Battlefront, but this is like the main event lately. But yeah, so we'll be doing that. That'll be dropping on May the 4th, right before our Guardians review, and then the next week at some point we'll be doing a Star Wars Visions review. It just drops May the 4th. It's the same day as Guardians. It's kind of a shitty time. If it wasn't, we would have been probably like watched all that weekend. But talk about that, and yeah, and then Dylan, you'll have Fall's gonna drop before you go, right? I think.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean the game comes out the 2nd, so it'll be side quest the week after that. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
get some impressions for
Whatever
that
that
and
is.
stuff. So yeah, lots of big titles coming out that way, and then yeah, check out. There's a bunch of stuff on the feed. Bo's Afraid, Evil Dead, Mario stuff. We've gone back, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. There's Travis told you sneaking around in there. I'll be doing that fully soon. He'll be back to full time. I think we'll see. May's gonna be kind of a crazy month, but Taylor, where can they find everything when they want to find what we're doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us with your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter, and GeekVerse is our Facebook.
Everything you need to know, it's down below. Links, videos, audios, podcast network, all the separate feeds. Which, speaking of, so we're gonna do. We talked about this kind of behind the closed door. So we're gonna be doing. Of course, we're gonna talk about Guardians predictions. We got some trailers from CinemaCon. We got some Evil Dead rankings and stuff like that. So that's gonna be a good time. But before we're gonna do a mini town hall. In the past, we've kind of done once a year. We might do like a bigger one again at some point. But we even ourselves have talked about that. We're gonna be doing like more just team meetings and stuff, kind of every quarterly now. Because hey, we're a small business and we get into quarterly stuff. Breaking news! Oh, what happened? What happened? No.
This is a big big thing that you're going over. Just add some flair and spice to it.
It could be. It could. It just changes. You're scaring people. You know. I feel like. Well, that's
Okay,
really
I'll take
what's
it down.
happening.
I'll take it down. It's because it was
Yeah.
all
we
capped.
all quit, and we have 4 new members for you guys. It can
Yeah.
be seen. Yeah.
So the podcast can be taken over by Tyler Saris and Kyle Smith. They're really, Kyle just moved back to Kelowna, so perfect time for him and Tyler Saris.
One episode a month. That's what you can expect.
Yeah.
on GeekVerse. That's it. Yeah. And we'll
Yeah.
come back. We'll come back for the 1 year, the anniversary and stuff like that. No, so we are going to be making TK takeover. The TK takeover. I like that.
That's a nice ring to it.
Man,
Oh, I'm sorry. I
I
derailed
could get
you.
a
I shouldn't have
hold.
started this.
It's fine because like he's getting settled and everything like that. And he's driving to Calgary to see some family and whatnot. I talked to Kyle more in Australia than I did now. We're on the same like time zone now. And this man, he's been back for a week, is the hardest to pin down. But there you go. There's some breaking news. He will appear. Maybe me and Kyle will bring back Rant Repeat and stuff like that for some fun one-off episodes because we now are actually in the same continent again. So that's a good thing. But yeah, so all around we're going to be doing some changes. So we're going to be doing some changes, some things not really being taken away from Patreon, but some changes there. And then also just kind of a goal that we want to hit towards. But so anything that you guys got to worry with, GeekVerse, stuff like that, nothing's changing yet. That we're not folding down. Don't worry. The only thing we are going to be doing though is for you look down below. There's those feeds, right? The 2 feeds right now we're going to be kind of retiring is like the news feed and the retrospective feed. The reason we're kind of doing that is because the retrospective feed, it's kind of similar as the review feed, and it's kind of murky. So now retrospectives, if you do listen to those, and because those don't come out like every week sometimes, right? They kind of come out in batches depending on the projects going on. Like right now, you had Evil Dead go into Arcane, but then after that's going to be a little break until Indiana Jones, right? So that feed just kind of sits there. So we're going to just kind of amalgamate the reviews and retrospective. If you just listen to the main feed, you could probably skip over the next minute because that just, like, if you just listen to everything there, that's great. But if you do pick and choose, which I know because people on our last survey said that they liked that was an option, the retrospectives will be going on the review feed now. And that feed, maybe something will happen within the future, but it's just going to sit there for a little bit. And the other one that's going to go away is the news feed, because we just found that when we did the transition, we could see reviews and other things and side quests, like you have things listened to on those feeds by themselves, where news, it just kind of felt like the numbers still just stayed with GeekVerse, like the main feed, and nothing really trickled too much over than the occasional episode. So for us, that's like additional work, and that may be something down the line. It's there. So if you listen to those feeds, those are the only two changes that are going to be kind of sunsetted for now. And yeah. And then next after that is Patreon. So we're going to be doing a little thing here. We want to hit a goal. And the reason we want to hit a goal is because like now when we are a small business, lots more changes and things where it's a lot tougher, because there's two things. One, like it's always, we love to be honest. This year, like as far as the podcast route, like ad revenue all around, you can look into this because I had done a lot of this. It's been down and stuff like that. So you have lower months. Again, don't worry. We're not closing down. We're not going anywhere. But it's between that. And I'll tell you this, anybody that's listening, if you're thinking of starting a small business, go ahead, definitely do it. Just be aware, man, taxes can kick the fucking shit out of you. And that's one thing for us where it's like, so in order to always do these new things, like, you know, another newscast show or spin-off shows like Retrospectives or side quests, or like even just stuff like doing a Beau is Afraid review, those are things we want to continue to do. But at the same time, when, you know, things go up and down, like we got to work on where we're focusing and whatnot. So we want to try to have a bit more of a, I don't know, something to help us out in those months, because it's, you know, with the patrons, that's what we love about you guys. You guys are always there. You're consistent, but with ad revenue, we're at the end of the barrel there, depending on how well other businesses are doing. Right. So that's the thing where it goes. So, and that's a tough thing. Dylan, you want to say something?
Yeah, just like it's a case where we can look at it and our numbers are, you know, as good as they are any other month, but then just like the amount of money that's made is not there. So it's kind of a shitty situation where there are just many ads for the listener. So you still have that experience where maybe there's too many ads we've seen in the reviews that some of you feel that way. And then it's not even really benefiting in GeekVerse all that much. So the migration of like trying to push more and more of our stuff over to Patreon makes sense in the long haul, because then, you know, if that becomes more sustainable and bigger, then we can reduce the amount of ads that are on the episodes, and then it's just a better experience for you. Patreon's better. Just everything is better, and then we're happier too. Everything's more consistent for us. We're not as surprised by certain things. So yeah, just all around, it's a kind of a good way for us to go.
Yeah, and it can kind of more, as we literally say, like, I think people might think it's just a tagline, but it's not the idea of, hey, Patreon, it creates content. It does, because it spends the time of editing. The money goes towards the hours of recording, watching, editing, uploading, all this stuff. And that's the thing where we kind of base our game plan, I'd say, like each year, depending on last year. And that's why last 2 years we were lucky where it's like, okay, we can bring back a lot of retros and do this stuff and do a separate news show. But that's where, like, if it does get lower, we do have to adjust some things. And that's where we don't want to get to that point. And again, don't worry, we're not throwing a white flag. We're hitting that. We're at least hitting that 10 years, you know. But no, and even then, again, not to worry about it. We're still like, like Dylan said, downloads are still good and stuff like that. It's just that's the nature of the beast when it comes to things like ad revenue and even sponsorships. Like that's the conversation I had with Manscaped. As you can see, like we don't have that anymore, and that's just because like, hey, like we don't have the funds right now to do like X, Y, and Z. Because like, yeah, we have a following. We're very happy about that, but at the same time, we're not like, I don't know. We're not. I can't even name a popular podcast right now because I barely listen to ones right now because I'm so busy. I don't know. We're not Joe Rogan that way. I mean, I was trying to not pick a least.
We're not trying to be Joe Rogan, to be clear. I mean,
we're taking over. We're gonna be
I was
number
trying
one.
to not pick a controversial one, but I just kept going. What's the biggest podcast in the world right now? It's still John Rogan. But same thing, right? All those ones trickle up to that. So what we want to do is, we're making this not a money goal. We're making this like a base goal, or a number-based goal. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about some things that we're going to have on the feed as far as like the tiers and stuff like that, and then also what we're going to be adding to it for everybody. So what we want to do is currently right now we're at 27 patrons. We have a goal by what was the end of August? Was it August 30 or what was it?
July
August 31st
31st.
or July 31st? Thank you very much, Dylan. By July 31st, at any tier. So if you want to go to the biggest tier, great. If you want to just do $1, great. At the whatever tier it is, we want to hit 50 patrons by July 31st. We're kind of doing this like as a call to action and stuff like that. We want to hit that number. So, you know, if you haven't been before, get on there. If you've been thinking about get on there, same thing, the $1 tier, and you're going to get some benefits there when we go and talk about that. But that's our goal, July 31st. And if we do that, we're going to be unlocking 6 things. One of them is going to be this bingo card that Taylor, you can start by talking. This was your idea, and I'll add on to it in case Taylor, you know, it's always scary to give Taylor the mic, see what happens for important business situations. But
Yeah.
Never mind. I take it back. No, go ahead. Yeah.
No,
Evil smirk.
we were toying around with these ideas. Yeah, and bingo. I mean, fuck, we love games. And when you go to those casinos, you go to the old folks' homes. They got the bingo popping off, and
When you go to the old folks.
we want to bring that to you guys. I don't know how much I'm supposed to share here. And I can't. Travis, you're gonna have to tap in and remind me like which tiers are like dabbling in here.
So
because
so what's going to happen is if we hit the 50 goal, 50 patrons for July 31st, for the next 5 months, you're going to get specific sets of content. One, this is going to be the bingo cards. This is one that will be specific to patrons. It'll be every tier though. So if you're on Patreon, you can get in there and play and stuff like that. So what there's going to be a board, and we'll put some submissions as well. But at the start of every month, we're going to say, hey, give us some submissions for this board. We're going to put on there. That could be based on the games coming out, the movies. So it's kind of like, hey, I think this movie would make this amount of money. I think this character will die. I think this will be announced at a Comic-Con. Those will be examples, right? And when this patrons do submit them, we're going to have a little leaderboard. And at the end of the year, you'll get 1 free month of the top tier and then also a little prize, which we haven't figured out yet. But it'll be a fun little... You will enjoy it at least. So that's what we're going to be doing. And Taylor is, he's the one that brought the bingo to us, and we think it could be fun. We did a long time ago of like someone had also created one stuff. So this would be a very interactive. We would need your support and stuff like that to do the actual bingo, just because we can put our stuff in there, but it's not as fun. And I think everyone would kind of be capped at like 5 submissions. So, and then we'll make the grid, and then we'll get going from there. So that would be one. Taylor, you have anything else to mention on bingo?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up. I mean, it's just, it's a great way to kind of bring people together and all contribute to something that we can all participate and look forward to. I know like a lot of the community looks forward to when we're drafting and our draft picks and like the results for that. So this is a great way to get the community involved as well with their picks. They can take the board home with them. They can print out a physical board if they want, put it on their wall, whatever you guys want to do. You can do it.
We cannot provide the funding of the printing of the board. That is a personal choice. We'll say, we'll
Disclaimer.
say that. Yeah, disclaimer.
Taylor can get you a discount at his print shop if you live in Kelowna.
I was gonna add on too, just like in our Discord alone, we got some very bright individuals with some great theories. So it's gonna be exciting to just see their thoughts, thrown onto the Patreon. Phase 1 and above, you're gonna be getting some just wise knowledge on predictions.
But again, even if you want on the bingo, that's just the dollar tier. So that's just before. That's just been the kind of tip jar one, everything like that. And then the next thing we're going to be doing is if we hit the 50 patrons for July 31st at any tier, we're going to be releasing 5 episodes. Patrons will be getting these early, but they will be being released into the feed every single month. You'll get us something kind of on a bigger topic. There's some we will be revisiting, some will be kind of finishing off. There'll be some new things. So Dylan, you want to share what those 5 episodes will be? That every month, if we hit it, from August to December, we'll release one of these episodes. It'll be a special, kind of a bigger one that we're going to, all 4 of us will be there, invest some time and stuff like that. So
yeah, so first up, we are going to do the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. Obviously, Mario's come out. It is hot and heavy at the box office. It hasn't even come out in Japan yet, so this thing is going to crush $1 billion.
Yeah.
So we all know there's going to be 1 million of these things. So we're going to go, I don't know, we haven't said how many projects, but we'll say like something like 15, 20 projects worth. Like we'll just chart it all out of like what this Nintendo Cinematic Universe could look like, building up to a Smash Bros. And beyond and all that stuff. So that'll be a lot of fun. Next up, we will do an MCU reboot sort of discussion. So talking about if they were to reboot the MCU, and maybe we can talk about like when that would happen. What would that look like? What would be the best way to do it? Especially, obviously, now they have all sorts of other characters, X-Men and stuff like that, they didn't have when they started. So that'd be a big one. Top 15 video games of all time for all 4 of us. So we did years and years and years ago, did a top 10 video games. This was like very, very, very early on. So it exists on YouTube. You can probably still listen to it, but that audio quality not going to be great.
it's about 8 years old by the time we record this.
So
it'll be almost a decade.
Most, if not all of us, will have maybe a couple new picks in there, and then since we're breaking it from 10 to 15, you'll just get more things in there too. So something to kind of more focus on the video game side of things. And then a little bit of a hybrid for Star Wars. We wanted to do something Star Wars, so we decided to do the Rise of Skywalker commentary track, which is the lost commentary track from the main movies that we never got around to for whatever reason. And then, part of that, I think, was where we kind of want to take a look back at the sequel trilogy. Now that it's been a few years, and we haven't had really many movies since, and just like really look back on it, think back on it, and obviously do the commentary track of Rise of Skywalker. And then the fifth one, we're leaving as a bit of a mystery right now. And it's not because we don't have ideas. We have some ideas. We haven't fully narrowed down exactly what it is yet. But we're just going to call it the mystery box for now. So something else, on the tier quality of those other four things in terms of just a big, really hype, really fun episode. And once again, once we hit 50 patrons, those episodes will go out to everyone, and we'll release them, every month or so, something like that. But if we don't hit that goal on Patreon, we will not do those episodes. And those are potentially very, very fun episodes as well. So, that's kind of our main way we really want to drive you over there and check out the Patreons, because those all sound like a lot of fun. I know I want to do them, but there you go. That's the breakdown.
And that's why people keep asking for that I keep saying Force Awakens, that Rise Skywalker commentary track. This is the way to unlock it. This is for $1. Like I said, 20. We're already halfway there. We're already over the halfway mark of getting there right now. So that would be the idea. And now with Patreon, we've made like a few changes. Pretty much stayed the same. That way, we want to do this. That there's going to be add-ons too and stuff like that. But Dylan, because you're already going, you just want to start with the Phase 1 tier there, and then I'll throw it over to someone else.
Yeah, Phase 1. This is $1 a month, and essentially you can send in questions and topics for newscasts. You hear us bring up these all the time, and I don't know if we have one. I know we got someone wanted us to talk about a trailer, so I guess
Clay did send in a topic. Yeah.
So that's kind of the thing you can sort of do there, and then also that will allow you to participate in the GV bingo. If we hit the 50 patrons and we start doing that, you can participate in that.
All right, Kirklin Patzer. Now, the reason I'm getting you to do Phase 2 is because you can read those all, but what we want to be clear, because you can see what the first thing on Phase 2, you want to explain to the people what you can do, as we use Patron Tyler, for example, of, hey, no offense to Patreon, of, hey, I don't want to use the service to listen to these casts because it's kind of a pain. And it is, because, Patreon could just save themselves. I guess that's the point of what they do here. But you want to tell what the first perk of Phase 2 is and specify what you can do with said perk.
Yeah.
Because maybe we haven't been as clear as that in the as we have been, and in the future we will be all the time.
But we're trying to be better.
Yes, and I was on my bad because I had assumed everybody knew this. So when you guys said, I'm like, yeah, it's
First
just like
mistake.
Yeah, so that's
assuming
100%. It makes an ass out of you and me. So can you clarify the first thing of that of Phase 2?
Absolutely.
And then you
If you've heard any episode we've ever done, you've probably heard enjoy early ad-free content. And at Phase 2, $5 a month, you get access to just ad-free content. But what we recently found out, or at least myself, I think Dylan was in that
And
camp.
others,
I feel like Taylor was in that
There's
camp.
probably
as
others
well.
listening to this, but probably don't know either.
You gain access to an exclusive RSS feed, which you can actually take that, and if I remember it correctly, you can throw that on. Actually, it's everything but Spotify. So
Almost.
Apple
There's a
Podcasts.
list. You can go to Patreon, and if you search up the RSS feed, they have a list of a few things that aren't
Exactly.
available.
So you'd get access to the ad-free episode without having to just go through the Patreon app, which, Patreon is fantastic. We love it, but I feel like the app is something that can be improved for sure. And people also just love to listen to their podcasts on what they're used to listening to.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fantastic feature that isn't new. It's new to me, at least. And if you're listening to this for the first time and think it's amazing, I don't think you're alone. I think it is an amazing feature. As I said, it's not on Spotify yet.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Well, we know that roughly 75% of you listen on Apple Podcasts, and you can do it there. So.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you get that feed,
So,
copy it in the player, and you no longer. So Tyler, if you're listening to this, I hope Kirk
Yeah.
told. Did you tell him after he?
I've not told.
Oh my God, you're
I'm a
one
terrible
of your
friend.
best friends.
I'm a terrible friend. I know.
He's still listening on Patreon. Tyler, if you're listening now, you can download that. He's probably like, oh, I'm on Spotify. But no, even then, there's other apps you can download if it's not Spotify and throw that RSS feed in there. So
Exactly.
Do
So
that
fantastic
for- yeah.
feature. That's the biggest one for the Phase 2. But going down the line, you get access to our After 9 calls that we've talked about so many times. Those are lots of fun. You don't have to participate in it, but highly encourage it. Got some great patrons that
We
come in
welcome
and
it.
just chime in. Exactly.
yeah, we know we've been doing it for a while, and that we have lots of people that have been the veterans. But we always bring just come in one day. It doesn't matter, everybody, because even people I've talked to that go back and forth come in even once if it's not your thing. But we always have a fun time. So, but yeah, After 9's not going anywhere. Don't worry, people.
Yeah, absolutely. We played Mario Party on it. What a great time. So keep going. We got our bread and butter episodes, exclusive GV show. Sit down. Just it's like in my mind, I see that as like the OG GV when we would have very lacking on news topics and we're just sitting around talking, but very, very fun times. And then you can also submit your content for future polls and just other access to behind the scenes content that others don't get. So just some more exclusive stuff.
Which again, I pimped this on a couple episodes ago, but yes, in the next few weeks or so, we're going to start calling for William Dafoe movies, which we're recording that in the fall. Though I think we're going to do like 5 or 4 episodes, somewhere in there. So also we'll get into who votes, but yeah, polls will be starting soon. You guys will have to submit stuff. So Taylor Field, Phase 3, Tier 3.
Phase 3, for $10 a month, you get exclusive show called The Originals, a show that harkens back to the early years. It features all of the GV crew together. Secondly, send in video or audio questions, reviews for movies and video games we review, and we'll read them on air. And thirdly, all Phase 1 and 2 benefits. This is $10 a month.
Thank you.
They better get Phase 1 and 2 benefits if they're Phase 3.
Same as Phase 2. Yeah,
It's listed at the end, so like you read through the benefits,
you always
like,
do
oh,
that. Yeah.
I better hope I get the Phase 1 and 2.
I forgot to mention that. If you're a Phase 2
Yeah.
Patreon, you get access to Phase 1.
Make it
as well.
suspenseful,
Yeah.
right?
Well, again, people may not know, right? People might go, hey, if I do this phase, do I get that? No, if you get the top
Sure.
phase,
Well-
especially here. Go ahead, Taylor.
To be fair, you got to put that last because if it wasn't, then that would be the only thing that would show
Yes.
before you hit show more, and then
That's
it would
why
be
I
like,
put it
well,
last.
You just get the benefits of Phase 1 and 2. Nothing else.
And also for people to make it easy, if you are a patron, when you look at the tiers, if you're on one or if you want to re-up, literally the listen on other podcast apps copy link is right below at the bottom there, so you can go like it's a very it's very accessible that way. And then finally the Phase 4, the $15 tier. So there's a few things on here. So as we talked about with the Patreon polls, so William Dafoe, we're gonna get poll like from 5 and up, we're gonna have people say, hey, what do you want us to review? Yeah. The producers, that's why they're the producer tier. They get to literally pick what we're gonna do. So other people can submit things, but they're gonna be the ones voting. If it's your first time, you can submit a movie and stuff like that. So there's even April. I know April, I've asked you before, she never come back. At some point, if you want us to retro a movie, let us know. But you get to pick anything, whether it's movie, game, TV. Well, a TV show was maybe like we'll take TV out of it because that could be a whole can of worms. We'll stick to movie or video game. If there's something you want us to retro, as we just did Office Space. Me in the past, that was my only way of getting Dylan to play Arkham Asylum because someone requested Arkham Asylum, stuff like that. So you get to pick one of those, and then also because I've been asked about this, we will be let's see. Oh yeah, of course you get your shout-outs every episode, and hopefully I don't butcher your name, but I blame Kirklin because he has to be quicker. And then also too, we're going to be updating, we're going to be doing some behind the scenes stuff on our films and side like that, because people have asked us. I even talked about Maddie the other day about they said, when we get updates. The reason we haven't done too many updates yet, as we've talked about it before, is because if we submit stuff to film festivals and everything, which we will be doing, there's certain guidelines of what you can share. But I've looked at it enough to know like what we can. So once those that's going to be probably more coming in the fall. But the reason is because you guys are that top tier. We want to give you very exclusive behind the sneak peeks. And when stuff comes out, like when we get there, you'll get like I'll post like the actual script at the Phase 15 tier, like it's things like that. You'll get the bloopers. There'll be a package when we sell these movies that you could get the whole kit and caboodle, but it'll be a better deal if you just go to the Phase 4 tier on Patreon because you'll get that there and you'll get it earlier and sooner and stuff like that. So we're gonna be sprinkling little things like that, but that'll be more coming for the fall because once we kind of that's done and we kind of know what we're doing, if it's how we're gonna release it, and that's likely how it's gonna get released is just through us and like whether it's Patreon or like a Venmo or something. But yeah, we will release some behind the scenes and whatnot. I appreciate people asking about that, but Taylor's always got the phone out and stuff like that. He's always recording.
I got
stuff.
lots of behind the scenes. So
Yeah,
you
and
better
we got lots
believe
of
it.
good stories too. Like you'll want to be at that tier for one point because Taylor will tell the story of him almost getting in a fight with a guy at a gas station. This is a legitimate story, and one day you'll hear that. So
Me
That's all.
potentially getting murdered going back to our filming location alone.
yeah.
That was a whole other.
that's a whole there's a whole thing about how I could have been the doghouse many times. So that's what we're doing. So for the feeds, for Patreon, as far as the content right now, nothing's changing, but that's why we do want the support because we don't want anything to change, right? That's where it comes to the quarters. We're going to be meeting all the time, and something last year or next year, it's like, hey, if we're down, there might be things we do have to cut, right? There might be something like, hey, might not do as many newscasts, might not get to do as many retrospectives. That's where we got to grow, and that's why we thank everyone that has stuck with us and been here, because that's why you get 3 to 4, sometimes 5 shows a week, because you guys came in and supported us. And now some of that also is just not in your guys' hands. It's just that's the way the economy works, right? Like Dylan talked about, like same number of ads would play, but it's like it's a less amount now. So things could spring up and back up, but that's why we want to go, okay, how could we foolproof this? And that's what we're kind of calling, a call to action as 50 patrons. Any tier by July 31st, you unlock, 5 pieces of content, a fun game, and then just some other good stuff along the way. So is there anything I've missed or not said that we want to mention?
I think we've covered it. We've been pretty thorough.
Cover it. Whole kin caboodle.
Clean
and stuff
30
like that.
minutes. Like
Clean
that.
30 minutes. Well, Kirklin, thank you. Speaking of ad-free feed, you would avoid this. I'm going to take our first ad break right now. We're going to get into Guardians predictions and stuff like that, so we'll be right back. And we're back. So as Kirklin is very surprised, but yes, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is out next week. We'll be reviewing that, so look out for that on the Friday morning or the Thursday night if you're watching live. But I just want to go around quickly. How's everyone's excitement levels for this right now? It's usually we start off. Dylan, how excited are you for at least the final James Gunn Guardians? We don't know about these characters. We're going to talk about some of their fates in this episode, but at least we know this is James Gunn's. He's done for at least a decade. He ain't come back to Marvel anytime soon.
It's true. I am very excited, but I could be more excited, and I've been trying to think about why that is. I mean, I think if you go back to just several newscasts and stuff, anytime we talk about a trailer, I don't know, the trailers themselves haven't really increased my hype a whole lot. I think that hype is just like the baseline James Gunn's quality with Guardians of the Galaxy, that sort of stuff is why I'm there. No, obviously they're setting this up in a very final sort of way, and so that stuff is exciting. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I think once I'm there in the theater and that opening scene hits, or we get that Marvel logo, I think I'll be like. I think I'll be just, so happy. I'll have a smile all across my face, or maybe some tears even at that point. Who knows when the first person's going to die. But yeah, I am excited. I guess I just, I don't know if it's been like I guess for the movie front, right? Like
I was going to ask you, is it because it's been 6 years? Oh, I thought you were talking about the
It's
length
been 6
of
years
Guardians.
since he's seen a movie.
Yeah, no,
I don't know. Even that, like, just because we got the holiday special, it doesn't even feel like it's
true.
been that long. But I guess just on the movie front, like Ant-Man, Black Panther, Thor, all like kind of disappointed me. Not that they're bad, one of them is bad, but they just all kind of disappointed me a little bit. So I think it's just been a bit since I've just had like a super hype Marvel in the theater experience. So hopefully, I'm sure this will be that. I don't know what it is, but I'll have to wait till I'm actually in the theater before I get there.
I bet all your hype's just on Redfall right now. That's just where it's taken
Kind
up.
of is, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah.
That's fair. Kirkland.
I'll go next. Yeah, I think, like I said, I realized this morning that it was coming out in 7 days, and like since that point, this feeling that I got right now, these butterflies just brewing in my belly. This is the most excited I've been for a movie so far this year. Like
More than
Evil
Mario.
Dead.
Wow.
Evil Dead, I was actually okay. I
Yeah,
almost
I got
forgot
you
about
there.
it, Mario. You got me there. You got me there. I don't know.
I remember
I feel
everything
like
they
7
say.
days away though. I feel like I didn't have butterflies for Mario, and like right now I am for Guardians. Evil Dead, I was terrified. I didn't even want to go see it, but I got dragged, and it was a great time. But terrifying.
Dragged.
John Wick, it was like, okay, this is gonna be a John Wick movie. It blew my mind, but and then Mario was just fantastic. But for this one, I think it is because I've just really grown to like Guardians, being someone that didn't love the first movie the first time, and then rewatched it and really, really enjoyed it. And the more I watch it, the more I like it. I like the second one more than the first one, so it's just kind of been ramping up. And I think it's also, I mean, just like the stakes of what we're going into, gonna be getting tears, probably just ugly cries in the theater, I'm sure. And I'm really expecting like a really good send off for like James Gunn's Guardians. And I don't think that's like a dangerous thought to have, because I don't know. I definitely could be disappointed getting all my hype up here, but I just really trust that it's going to be done really well. And kind of like what Dylan was mentioning, like I feel like I've been maybe more positive than or I enjoyed the movies more than maybe you did, but I definitely was like let down in like the Ant-Man regard, because I semi-liked that movie enough, but just for what that movie was supposed to be, I should have been like a 10 out of 10 for just the lead up, like Kang's here, Quantumania, like this is going to be insane, and just not really vibing over it after like a week later. I really want to have that feeling for a Marvel movie here, and I truly believe this is going to be the one, just with the stakes. Like we're going to be losing characters that I've just fallen attached to. I was gonna say fall in love with, but I feel like that's a little bit strong. But yeah, I even just like talking to like certain people at work about this, that like I wouldn't take them for Marvel fans or something, but Guardians is just one of those things that I feel like it kind of breaks through like the classic Marvel mold. Like you don't have to be like hugely caught up on all the MCU stuff. I feel like a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, I like Chris Pratt in that role, or like the music apart. Like there's something that people pull from Guardians movies that they just really like that is different than the overall MCU. It's not like, oh, all these movies link up to this big event that's why I love all these things. It's just like, no, I like Groot, you know. I like The Rocket. I like his witty humor. And yeah, so I'm super jazzed for this one. 7 days away. Ooh, cannot wait.
Love it.
Taylor, you jazzed?
I think I'm more excited for this than I am for Ant-Man. There's
When are you seeing Ant-Man?
than I was for
Okay.
Ant-Man. Than I was for Ant-Man.
May 17th. It's gonna be on Disney Plus.
This is just I think the level of emotion. I watched a couple of snippets of just stuff with Rocket and just the feels that they were delivering.
You're watching the
those
clips. Wow.
I watched
can't
only
believe
the
you
one,
broke and
only the
watched a
one.
clip. Well, there's only been one clip out there, so.
Is it like a
I'm
leak
good.
clipped
No,
or
I
like
think
an
it's-
official?
No, it's
an
official.
official.
Clip. I know what he's
Okay.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I felt the emotions, and I feel like I am going to be very teary-eyed while I'm engaged in this film. Yeah. So that has me worried. Just who's
What a
crying?
sentence
Shut
that
up. But
Said the 5-year-old.
I'm very
the
much.
seat.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Fuck up! I didn't wake up early for this.
Yeah, it's. I just want killing.
The same guy. I am really looking forward though to this movie. I just think that it's gonna be cool to see where our characters are after the events. I guess after Ragnarok, and just kind of see, or no, sorry, Love and Thunder. Sorry, just kind of see what's going on there. So, yeah, I did partake in honor of Mandalorian finale predictions. I booted up the Chat GPT, so whenever we kind of go through our own
Right,
predictions,
thank you.
I got a good a good one here that actually is like, it seems pretty logical. It's not too flamboyant, so I'm curious to know what you guys think of it after we go through our predictions.
Yeah, if people didn't know, we've introduced a segment for prediction episodes now, and maybe even finales too for TV shows. That we go to. I don't even know the name. What is it? Chat. What is
Chat
it?
GPT.
GTP.
GPT.
Gold per
GPT.
turn, yeah.
Chat GTP.
G
Is that what it stands for?
as
Gold
in
per turn?
grape, P
Yeah.
as in pirate, and T as in Timmy.
GPT, yeah. Go check out The Mandalorian. I still got to cut that out. The Mandalorian finale was just epic, and it was a very good time, man. That fleet.
Luke's fleet. Yeah, that
Luke's fleet, man. I'm still waiting. That sounds so much better. But yeah, I think I'm in an unfortunate situation where, like, I'm excited for it, but I just feel like now all I can do is end up being disappointed, because with the second one I was expecting to be disappointed and I wasn't. So now with this one I'm expecting not to be disappointed. I'm expecting it to be the same type of quality. So like all I feel like I can do is like it could be matched or disappoint. If it can go above it, then wow, James Gunn is just a master and whatnot. So we'll see. I am very excited because I like James Gunn better with Marvel than with DC. We'll see what happens with Superman, and his DC stuff I still like quite a bit too. But my expectations are very high. Luckily, I liked all other than Ant-Man. I've liked all the other ones. Like I loved Wakanda Forever, so I'm not in that type of lull where I know some people are like, oh, the MCU for me lately. Like even like Dylan, like it's just for me. I don't have that yet. You get the Marvels coming. Yeah, no, like I'm excited for it. I don't know, because I know people, even like I see Superbad Mike's comment about like this is the first time you feel anyone could die. I kind of feel like that. We'll talk about in predictions, but I kind of don't at the same time. Like I feel like a lot of the major ones are still gonna. I feel like we're gonna lose like 1 to 2 key ones that are gonna hurt, but I like them to mini spoil. Like I don't think Chris Pratt's going anywhere. Like I think there's certain people like that where it's just like if the MCU's happy and they're happy, they're gonna stick around. So I'm excited, of course. It's still not the most excited I am for a comic book movie this year. That's still The Flash, and then would probably be Spider-Verse after this. But this is probably gonna end up being, I would hope, I would hope the best quality of the bunch of them, because I just think that's what James Gunn can do. So yeah, I am very excited. I love the Star-Lord character. I feel like I see a lot in that. Both of those other movies are like 10 out of 10s. I think this could be the peak trilogy. So we'll see. It's just tough for me to be like, yeah, to get any more excited. I'm not like, and maybe it's just because life's so busy. That's why I haven't really thought about it. But I when that music hits, I'm excited for that fucking album, because I've stayed away from, because I know the album's out and Gunn has tweeted about it. I've specifically stayed away because this is one I want to hear in the actual movie. I want to get those songs in the moment of the movie. So that's what I'm excited for too, is just the music, especially because Peter, remember, he has that Zune with over 1,000 songs. So it's like, because we'll be getting like a little updated stuff. So I'm pretty excited for all that. So
Nice.
I was gonna say too. Sometimes I feel. I mean, they probably avoided this because the movie's not out. But like sometimes the track titles can just be so given away for something. You know, it's like,
Qui-Gon's Noble End.
yeah, it's just like I don't know. I don't know. I won't even say predictions. We'll wait for it. But
Like imagine you're excited for Phantom Menace. They release the score before. And oh yeah, you buy the CD. You open up the track listing. Second last track, Qui-Gon's Noble End. And like, people must have been so pissed. Like, it literally just says, yeah, Liam Neeson, he's gonna die. Like in the track listing.
there's a track just like Yondu's back.
Thanos
what?
kills everyone. Yeah. Yeah, so I want to start with just, obviously I always do this with the business side of things. So first Guardians, I'll pull up the exact numbers. Obviously new IP, I think it opened around like 94 million. The second one opened at 146. We're coming at a time now where, if any, the debate of superhero fatigue has been more relevant, it is now. And this has been the one, right, where people go, well, just wait till Guardians and everything's going to be okay. But then there's that flip side of, what if this is the sign that everything's not okay and superhero fatigue is starting to go? So Dylan Musk, I'm going to start with you. Where do you think this is going to, do you think because it's the final one, it's going to be emotions, maybe good word of mouth, is it going to get passed to, be similar? Or is there like a sense of, yeah, maybe people are getting tired of stuff and now we will see it be like, I don't know what they're expecting for a projection, but like like I said, the last one did 146 opening weekend, I'll say.
I think this movie is going to slide in between the first and second in terms of overall box office, and so I'll also say that's going to be the case for opening weekend. 146, you say, for number 2. Do we got number 1 on?
I think it's 94. I'll
94.
pull it up right now, but yeah, I think it's like it's in the 90s. That's all I'll just say. It's in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to shoot for a very specific 119. That's my opening weekend. 119. Yeah, not quite 20. 119.
And the second Guardians, yeah, for overall $869 million. Very impressive number there.
Mm-hmm.
Total box office, right?
Yeah,
what a
opening
jump.
weekend, 860. Yeah,
What a jump
94
from the first
million
one.
to 8. Yeah.
What would the logistics be for it to be that high? That would be
A
insane.
lot of theaters. A lot
Every
of theaters
theater in the
everywhere,
world sold
Dylan.
out.
Yeah.
Like every single showing of every single day show. But like, I know it's like for example, what was Endgame's opening weekend? It had like what was it? Worldwide, that had a
400 or
crazy.
something?
It had like a crazy number or something like that. Where highest opening weekend gross, it was 1.2 billion. So it can happen.
Fuck,
Over
that
the
was an
weekend?
opening weekend?
Well, that was everywhere though, right? Like in the world and stuff like that. But yeah, it did crack a
Still.
billion. Yeah, but that was Endgame, man. It can happen. It's just
That
it
is
takes a lot.
bonkers.
But yeah,
What's the
Kirklin,
budget for both those movies, right? Infinity War and Endgame, wasn't it like a combined budget of $1 billion?
Yeah, it was definitely more than $1 billion.
So
But
like
yeah,
the
that's on
first
paper.
weekend.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Success. Yeah.
For the weekend, I'm gonna go bold. I'm gonna say it's gonna be the biggest one so far out of all the Guardians movies.
Ooh.
I kind of what I was just going off on my overall thoughts of just the vibes. A lot of people just really love the Guardians, and I feel like the marketing material for it has been really good. Of like it being a one last ride sort of thing, and a lot of people just have a lot of love for the characters. So I'm gonna go bold and go high.
Are you gonna
You
say
need a specific number? Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
So what
I
was
like
the
rough
opening
game.
box office for the second one?
146.
869 million.
146.
Maybe I won't go too bold, but it will surpass that. 149. I'm gonna follow Dylan
Oh
with the
wow,
9. And
just
okay.
barely cresting it. Okay,
yeah,
All right.
just screeching by.
just a couple people extra seeing it.
All right, Taylor. We got
Couple
one
extra seats.
under, one over. Where are you on this? Because I remember Ant-Man, you were hard. You're like, that's going to be like a $1 billion movie.
so
People are
hard.
excited. Yeah, you're like, oh, people are excited for this one. I was like, I don't know. And then... And that's
Word
the
of mouth,
case-
word of mouth,
yeah.
Travis. Everybody's gonna be talking about how good it is.
Yeah, and that's what
Had
we're
a
going to
solid
really
opening.
see, too.
It just
That's
just
why,
shat
yeah.
the bed, yeah.
We're gonna see this all opening, but yeah, I don't even think it cracked
Drink
like half
the
$1 billion
goo.
and stuff like
Drink
that.
the goo.
But it's the goo. So we'll have to see because the weekend after Guardians, nothing's really out. I didn't even know this was happening. Then the third weekend though, Fast X is already out, and then the weekend after that's Little Mermaid and Spider-Verse. So it really only has like two. Like my spoiler thoughts are like overall, I don't think it's gonna be 2 because it only gets 2 weeks to itself in America or North America, and then it's getting eaten up by Fast and Mermaids and stuff like that. So.
Just fast mermaids eating it up.
Fast for imagine
What
Vin
did-
Diesel's a merman
What did
I can.
Thanks.
Guardians 1 make again? on its
in the
opening
90s.
weekend?
It's like 94, 96, something like that.
And Guardians 2 made the
146. So big jump.
146.
So like almost a 60 million jump.
Big change. GV change.
I think I'm gonna play the in-betweener game here. I think I'm gonna probably go like, well, I think it'll be close, but I don't think it's gonna be Guardians 2. I think it'll probably like opening wise, probably like 130 to 135 million, I'd
135.
say. And I think that's just because I don't feel like there's a lot of excitement really like MCU wise
Really?
right now. I
Oh,
feel like
overall, okay, yeah.
overall, I think I'm not gonna go like the superhero fatigue or anything like that, but I think it's just with what we've come off of with the shows. I think the shows have kind of like maybe kind of like you're like, oh, okay, yeah, another Marvel show, another Marvel whatever. And I think
Fatigued
movie
people, you could say.
Oversaturated
people.
people.
I would say too that Ant-Man, yeah, it's definitely it's filled up some pots, I guess, for some fans out there, and
I don't think it did. I think that was the
It's
lack
been,
of
like,
box office.
well, no, it's filled
pot's
the pots.
full.
Yeah, and so like people aren't looking to fill their pot anymore because it's been filled up with a
What
few
pot?
other things.
What is this pot that we're talking about?
Interesting metaphor.
It's not like devil's lettuce. It's an actual physical pot that people have that they fill up with satisfaction from Marvel and on all these superhero films. And so I think it's been filled too much with Ant-Man and what
love-
Ant-Man did.
I love
Thor.
the term "devil's lettuce." That is just a great.
The devil's lettuce.
Yeah.
All right. So what was your number?
What do 135? 135.
135. Okay, I'm gonna go a smidge lower and go 125. I'm very interested because
Ooh.
in a world where this was still happening, and I still will say this, I still think it's a little bit of a disappointment if it doesn't beat the second one as the final. But I think that is just a sign of what's going on right now. And just the way of more streaming and stuff like that. So I'm going to say 125 because that's somewhere in the middle. I do think if they are below 110, that's a bad number because that's, let me find out if they're below, I hate that the movie's called fucking Quantumania. I got to type this out every time. Let's see, if they're below, I don't think they'll be below Ant-Man. Because I feel like that would be for the opening weekend, and it definitely even the movie too. If they were below that for overall box office, that would not be good. But let's see, Box Office Pro dropped 70%, so it was 105. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna get there. But that's why I think if it were to be like 110, that's when I would think, okay, MCU is we're in some trouble. So I think we go 125. Maybe there could be a chance we get to the 130. Maybe good word of mouth will help it. People do love the Guardians. It's just that, yeah, I don't know. It's just I see people excited, but I don't feel like that over excitement. And I guess for me is there's one scooper that put out like they're in the C+ tier, but put out that tracking was like eh. And even when like I look at my theaters, like I'm gonna pull up right now like the Thursday night showing. Usually there's times like with even Wakanda Forever was a bit more, even Thor Love and Thunder, but it's not one of those like when I pulled up the Batman like right before, it's like, man, all these seats, it's pretty full. Like I go to Kirklin, you got the extreme screen, that's our biggest screen here in Kelowna. I'll go 6:30. Let's take a look at this, and like
It's completely sold out.
it's it's not. It's pretty like it's a good amount of people, but I don't know if it's like Marvel good amount of people. But then when I happen and I do after, and I look at all the other screenings other than the big screen, like the 6:15 one in West Side that is not the extreme has not a single seat sold. That's not. Oh yeah. For some reason, they're just missing a seat. They're charting. So like, it's like everyone wants to go to that 6:30, and I get that 6:30 biggest screen one. But then you're telling me like no other showings. Like when a movie's big, it's like, oh, I didn't hit the 6:30 extreme one, but we'll go to this one because I really want to see it. And that's why I feel like it'll be big, but I don't feel like I'm feeling that pull from other stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go 120. I'm gonna change it actually to 127. I'm gonna go 127.
Ooh,
so
okay.
we'll see. Yeah.
I guess I'm just gonna roll right into the overall box office. I'm actually gonna be I'm gonna be the pessimistic one here. I was the lowest on the opening, and so I'm gonna say it doesn't crack 800. I'm gonna go with 795. I'm looking at numbers here. So the first movie did 773 million. Second one 869. So yeah, I don't think this is cracking 800. I'm gonna. What did I say? 795.
You said 795.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with 795.
I'll piggyback. I'm gonna go 801. I'll be that guy
801,
with the $1.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go because I do think it's gonna beat the first one. I'll go.
It's got. Oh, if it doesn't, that'll be pretty sad actually.
It's
I
over
actually-
for you,
I actually
Feige.
think it's possible.
Yeah. Because I guess it all depends on like that's the thing that messes up a lot of the older numbers though too, is that the China market used to be a lot bigger and it's not anymore for American movies once they had their shutdown. So I'm gonna go 7. Oh boy. I'm gonna go 765. I'm gonna say it's not gonna be the first one. I'm gonna say it
That's
because
crazy.
I feel like it should, but my gut's saying no. My gut's saying no. It'll come under. I hope I'm wrong because that means I hope the movie's good and good word of mouth. But I'm gonna say
$1 billion movie
765.
incoming.
Yeah. Beats Endgame, the $1.3 billion opening weekend. You know. What about you, Taylor?
I'm gonna go 802.
Oh, you bastard! I thought I was a bastard.
I think it's gonna crack that 800.
Price is Right rules.
Got a couple shekels separating them. So, all right, let's start with what everyone's wondering. Let's start with the biggest one. Who will die? Is anyone opposed of thinking that Batista's gonna die?
He's dead, man.
Is there anyone
100%.
gonna make a case?
He's dead before the movie starts.
Yeah, he was dead when Infinity War came out, you know. But like, is there anyone that has a case of him not dying?
He's gone, man.
Yeah, I'm saying goodbye to Drax. I think.
Okay, we all agree.
He's
on
already
that.
got one foot in the grave, as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
He's
Batista's
done.
looking at DC now with with
Yeah.
James Gunn. He's with his buddy.
Got his eyes on Bane.
So he's done, and then I want to talk about the other elephant in the room. Do we think Rocket is dead?
I think it's a red herring.
I agree with Taylor.
I was
Because the
gonna say I agree with Taylor.
the marketing's so heavy on, oh, you really like Rocket, you're gonna miss him, right? And I feel like they
Yeah.
almost overplayed it, where I thought for sure he was gonna die, but with all this marketing, they've kind of reverse engineered me, where I go, I don't think so anymore. Now, are they doing it the double? Like, let's make everyone think it's a red herring, so it's not. But I'm gonna say he's gonna make it because he's also a CGI character. It's like Chewbacca. Bradley Cooper will do this till he's fucking 60. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter, you know. Easy check.
Because of the marketing, like just forcing us in that direction. I still think it's possible that like he maybe dies, but like gets resurrected. Not whole resurrection stone, but
Harry
like
Potter?
the defib thing or something. Like they find a way to just bring him back pretty quickly. Which does that count if he dies in the movie?
No.
Probably. Yeah. I was like so 100% sure that he was gonna die, like up until like probably today, just like talking about it with coworkers and stuff, and like who's gonna perish. And
They're like, I don't watch these movies. Get the fuck away from me.
get back to work.
Who
What are
do
you
you
talking
dying
about?
in
This?
Guardians? Just this guy, the Hammer. I don't watch that shit.
So I think I'm like
Superhero
50. I think I'm like 51% in the camp of what Taylor pitched of like,
Okay.
yeah, it's the red herring. So I think he will survive. Hopefully it's a nice little happy ending, because like this is one too that we're getting like his origin. Oh, it's gonna be a lot of heavy emotional stuff too, just with like some of the teaser trailer or full trailers of him getting like experimented on. So I think it would be pretty sad if they just killed him off in the same movie of Guna's origin. But who knows? Maybe he's like a big center point of it, so it is a nice send off. But that's why I'm like 51%. Like I'm not like 70% or more. I'm pretty unsure, but my gut, my little tummy, and my butterflies in my tummies are telling me to go that direction.
I got butterfly in my tummy. And to that credit, like I still am in shock that they killed like fucking Queen Ramonda and Black Panther Wakanda Forever. You know, it's like we already got enough trauma in this movie. It's like, we're gonna kill her too. It's like, oh my god, it's like it could happen. But Dylan, are you with us? Or are you the one man out there in the rain?
So obviously Batista, he's most likely. You know, he's gone.
It's done. Yeah.
And then I'm kind of split. I really feel like it's if there's gonna be someone else, the most likely ones for me are Rocket and Nebula. I feel like Nebula just has done nothing for a few movies, and like I love Nebula, but I just feel like Marvel has like run out of ideas with Nebula, which is too bad. And so maybe that's an opportunity to kill her off, but I don't know if that hits as well as they would want it to. So
I'm with you though. I think Nebula's going.
You do? I'm gonna say Rocket's gone. I'm gonna say Rocket's gonna die, and what's gonna happen is, what's the name of his like otter girlfriend? I think he's going to impregnate Lila, and maybe there'll be like a Rocket Lila baby out there.
So like what they do with
scene,
like what they.
That's the opening of the movie.
They honestly could. I don't know what this movie's rated, but it's CGI animals, so maybe it counts as nature doc, and they can show it. But
What's
like
Austin Powers rated as? I'm curious.
PG-13.
There you go. They've done some like shadow images.
Yeah,
Just a
I mean that
shadow
could be a
birth
funny like some sexy mute like a little put on like Steely Dan, and then like they're just like it's very shadowy, like they don't show a ton of it. So I'm gonna go ahead. That's my theory here. Is like that's something that's going on. So I'm gonna say Rocket. I'm gonna say he bites the dust here.
Is that too similar to Groot though, where Groot died and then like his son is now with us?
Is that really his son though? I mean,
Yep.
I've always thought
Gunn
that's just,
confirmed it. That's what it's meant to be. It's his son. It's not Groot again.
Yeah, well, not
It's-
in my head canon. It doesn't feel like that.
You can't get any more confirmed than that, and then
But the
direct be
thing
like,
is-
yeah, that's
no,
his
no,
son.
no.
He went to
It'll be
DC.
different,
His
though,
thoughts
because
don't
it's
matter.
like the voice is still the same. He's still he is growing up and all that stuff. But I think it's, I think when we finally get baby Rocket, it'll not be just a raccoon, right? It'll be like some other cross hybrid character. And you
Bradley
get some
Cooper voicing this little baby.
no, you don't get Bradley Cooper. You get I don't know, someone else.
Sean
So,
Gunn for once.
yeah.
He gets a chance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, I'm with Dylan on Nebula because I don't think Gamora's dying, but I think Gamora's going to go away, or I think there's going to be some way for her to get back. Maybe, I don't know, get back to her timeline. I just think that Zoe Saldana, like she could be a red herring, but I think like she's been talking about how she's kind of ready to move on. So I don't know what the ending is there, and the idea of like, they're trying to get that romantic spark back, but that might be the thing where, hey, even though it's Gamora back for alive in the flesh, it's like it's not your Gamora though at the end of the day, right? Like it's to me it's like that whole what if scenario, right? You could meet if you were to travel back, like if I were to meet Emily a year before Best Buy and I had a time machine walk, but hey, I'm like, I'm gonna be the father of your children, all this stuff, that would change everything. I'd be like, no, you're not.
Fuck away from
Yeah,
me.
exactly, right? Get the fuck away from me. The machete. But, that's how I kind of feel this could be as far as Gamora's going to go, not die, or we lose both of them. I just don't think they'd kill Gamora again because that would be kind of like, all right, we just did this. So I feel like we're going to lose Rocket, we're going to lose Nebula in a death scene, and then Gamora's going to be gone. Maybe even a death again, but I would say just maybe leave, maybe she come back, maybe there's a way you can do something, maybe that's an end credit thing that they find a way to get her back to her timeline because she feels more like she has to go there. So that's my picks. I think Chris Pratt's fine. He's a star.
Yeah.
They're going to keep him around. Mantis
Mantis is fine. She's safe. After they did the whole story element in Holiday Special of making them siblings, I feel like I think she's sticking around.
is that a bigger reason to kill her though? More impact and stuff. Like I think
No,
she's
I don't
staying.
think she's had
but-
her. I think with other people out of the way, whenever Guardians come back, like she'll have more of a chance to shine.
Yeah.
I feel like they have more to do with that character.
I agree because it feels like she's been around for a while, but really her screen time, like in Infinity War and the Holiday Special, they've not been around that much. So yeah, I feel like your remaining team is going to be Peter, Mantis, Rocket, and Groot, and then you got
Cosmo, the dog.
yeah, Cosmo of course too. But
Groot,
yeah,
yeah.
what about you guys? You guys think there's anyone
Yeah.
dying we haven't mentioned?
I mean, the last one you guys just mentioned, Mantis. I think Mantis is gonna die in this
Oh,
one.
yeah?
I think it's
Wow.
gonna be like definitely weird timing with them just like setting up like the family thing. But to Travis's point, I feel like maybe it's just to get more emotion out of that. I do like the character. I do like her interactions with Drax, but Drax is gone after this
will
movie.
be,
Yeah,
Maybe they
So-
die together, you know?
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I think it might be. But I'm not super confident. I'm a lot more confident on the Rocket one though, like maybe 60% that Mantis will perish, and then just to be difficult, I'm gonna say Nebula is actually living on. And Dylan, like you brought up a good point that like, and I agree with you that I really like the character of Nebula, but they haven't been doing too much with her since I feel like I've really gained a lot of just love for the character. But I don't know. Maybe this is just setting her up for something grander and bigger for her story now that she's real. Like, yeah, Thanos is gone, and that was like her whole story is just being attached to Thanos. And I think maybe this is gonna set her up in a direction of like really being just her own individual, not just like a product of Thanos. Again, I'm not like 80% sure on that, but I feel like I really want that to happen because I really like Karen Gillan. Is it Gillian?
Gillian. You know, Karen Gillan.
Karen Gillan.
Yeah.
Karen Gillan. I really like her as Nebula and just as an actress, so I want to see her reprise that role a bit longer.
Would you like her more as Poison Ivy though? Because that's what she said she'd like to do in
Yeah,
James Gunn
I would.
DC, and that's
I
what
would
I
like
want.
that.
So, very smart marketing of them because every single cast member has been asked, hey, because tonight was the premiere of like, hey, what would you like to do in DC with James Gunn? Man, they're just getting free promotion out the ass with all this stuff. James Gunn did confirm Chris Pratt will not be Superman, so there you go, because people were worried about that because James Gunn gave a description of a dude and everyone's like, fuck, that just sounds like Chris Pratt, and he said, no, it's not him, but I'd still laugh if he made it Chris Pratt. Like he's Mario, he's Garfield, he's Star-Lord, stuff like that. Yeah.
What about Kirklin? You know, Sean Gunn there. James
Oh
Gunn's
yeah, I think
brother.
he's goner. Yeah,
He's gonna die like a bug on a windshield. That guy.
Yeah, I think because that's like it's like to add the death toll. Or like I'll feel bad if Craiglin dies, but it's not like a fuck. But it can be like, well, in Guardians 3 we killed like 4 characters. And it's like, yeah, you did, but it's kind of like when
3 and
Heimdall.
Craiglin, we'll say.
Yeah, like it's like when Heimdall died at the beginning of Infinity War. It's like, okay, yeah, Thanos killed him, but like I didn't give a shit about Idris Elba in this role, you know.
Ooh, fighting words.
Does any of
Idris
you?
Elba.
Did any of
Maybe
you
had like
feel
a falling out with his brother James. James was, you know what, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you off in my movie.
It's
I'll
like
kill
the
you
longest death scene in MCU history.
And he dies like a bitch too, like every like. But no, other than Taylor, who's some, I'm sure he'll be like, I actually liked Heimdall. Was anyone sad to see Idris Elba's Heimdall get killed in Infinity War? No.
Take all of Asgard. I don't give a shit about that.
Thanos
place.
did, remember?
I was thrilled when it burned to the ground. Yeah, I'm in Hela's camp for sure.
Taylor, anybody dying that? What do you think they haven't spoken about?
Yeah, Nebula, Mantis, Craiglin. It's the ones we mentioned.
I think,
Or anybody else? Cosmo, maybe.
No, Cosmo.
That would
can't,
be
'cause
bold.
I got Cosmo and I got Gamora on my draft list. So those two got to stay.
Oh, they can't bias
Yeah,
pick.
they can't die. Yeah. But I do think though that like it's tough to say. Nebula has a good chance. I do kind of want to say I could see Drax and Mantis both, you know, eating the icing here and getting off that cake.
What?
Because
That's
I
an
feel-
innuendo if I've ever heard.
Wait, what does
one.
that mean?
Eating the ice. Yeah. Is she gonna have a Drax
biting,
baby?
biting the dust, eating the
Fill
icing.
the
Oh,
pot
okay.
with icing.
Never
Yeah.
heard that term. Eat the icing.
Eating
Grandma
the icing.
ate the icing. Children.
Like I feel like Drax. You didn't have to. I feel like we're all. There's not a single person in the world that's saying Drax is alive. There's nobody.
No, and I just feel like because of the spotlight those two characters had with, well, maybe they'll kill Kevin Bacon off too, but just what they got in the Christmas special, I feel like that's kind of like, okay, this is a good send off. Let's emphasize these characters before we.
They just
axe
go to
them.
Earth to kill
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon.
This is the Guardians' last known position. Do you know what? No, and it's just destroy. It's not
Kevin Bacon's
comedic.
house.
Yeah, it's not comedic. It's like the way Thanos killed Loki. Like it's really emotional and stuff like that. I'm like, Kevin Bacon, no.
No music. Yeah, just
No resurrections this time. He's like, I don't know what you're
it's the same line.
Earth, you could use a guide, Kevin Bacon. Okay, so that's our death poll. No one throwing in Adam Warlock. We think Warlock's going on in the
He's
future.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's safe.
Yeah.
Golden
I'm-
boy.
That's the only thing that makes me worried about this film is with all the stuff they've shown, and I know they set up in 2, I'm just hoping he doesn't feel like an add-on. Because from the trailers, that's just what he feels like. He's just going to be a goon add-on, and they'll save him. Maybe he'll be a part of the Guardians in the future. So I hope they get a good story. I like, what's his name there? Why am I forgetting it?
Will Poulter.
Will Poulter, thank you. Yeah, so I
William.
like him, but yeah, I don't think he's gonna die. But I am interested because I think that could be a weak point for me. So, but yeah, I think you guys. Super Mike says you guys are so sure. I feel like that'd be the biggest gut punch. First of all, I don't think so. I still think Rocket is the biggest gut punch for people if he were to die because he's cute and I know he's like an asshole, but it's still Rocket. And I just think it's Chris Pratt. I think when we get to Secret Wars time, then we can talk about Chris Pratt dying. But until then, I think they want to keep some of that old guard, as Taylor likes to say, till Secret Wars. Because you still got Thor, you still got him, you still got Bruce. Keep those guys around so when you do, the original squad in Avengers, Dynasty, or Secret Wars, you have some of these people, right? Like when they need the Guardians, they know, well, we know Star-Lord, right? So that I think it's staying. So,
And also to like live up to like the Tony death or like saying goodbye to Steve. Like that was such a big deal because we had so much lead up to it.
yeah.
I missed that comment. It went up and down.
A
too
shot-for-shot
fast.
recreation, though, Time to Die, but with Star-Lord. Just imagine that ending with Daniel Craig. But no, I agree with you. That's like you
Got
get
his little
more.
stuffy.
All the time in the world. That's what they'll give Craiglin. They're getting a Craiglin that death scene. All right, let's take our second ad break. We'll get back with more.
He's got rockets like baby with him.
Yeah, like James Gunn just gives he makes Craiglin the main character of this movie, and everyone's like, "Oh, I get it's your brother, but
There goes my hero. That song starts playing for some reason.
all right." Second ad break. We'll be right back. And we're back. Okay. I guess there's someone we didn't talk about too because I forgot to mention this. I think we all think the main villain will die. I don't think he's going to make it through.
What's his name again? The
High Evolutionary.
High Evolutionary.
Yes. Check out Patreon. We just talked about him in an X-Men episode, or we will be, I think, right? Yeah, we will be coming up soon. So
I don't know. I don't necessarily think he will.
really, like the final James Gunn movie, you don't think that he's going to kill off his big bad?
I guess I don't know enough about the character of in terms of the backstory and stuff, but I don't think they need to. But they could.
No, they never need to.
That's likely. It's likely.
Yeah, because we killed Ego, we killed Ronan.
If they write him off to still be existing in this world, like I would not be shocked, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's fair.
Like Dylan said, I feel like I just don't know enough about the character to like. Does he have redeeming qualities to him? Is there like a chip that they could just reprogram him to like completely change? Like I really don't know. But to Dylan's point, like if they do keep him around for something, or I don't know, he's changed but just alive, I could definitely see that happening. Unless he's just completely chaotic evil and he just needs to die for us to move forward in the MCU. Then yeah, he's a goner. But I just don't know enough. But I don't know. I'm indifferent on this one. I really can't say.
Taylor, villain, dying, staying.
Oh, they've been on a trend lately of killing off their villains. I feel like because they went through a period of like not killing them
Namor
off,
alive.
And
and
Kang.
then
Well, Kang. Yes,
well,
They're killing
That's-
Kang off.
Yeah, they're
they did kill
Off-screen
that
death.
Kang. They
You
killed that
think it-
Kang off.
You think Incredible Hulk's gonna be the most like written off movie? No, Ant-Man and the Wasp is gonna be the most written off movie that they're never gonna refer back to. I don't think they're gonna, but some people have been like, man, do they just pivot to Doom? I don't think that's happening, but they're never gonna talk about that movie ever again.
I just don't see a reason why they would keep. Again, I don't know anything about this villain, so I really can't say much. But I just don't understand why they would keep him around because I don't know if we're gonna really get any more Guardians projects. I think Gunn is very busy doing something else now. But I don't know.
but you
what
don't think
gonna
we're
be
gonna get a
getting, like-
Guardians 4 without him? They're not gonna like leave. I don't think the Guardians is done.
I don't think they will. I'm not. I'm going
Really?
into this not really expecting a Guardians 4, to be honest.
Oh,
I feel like
it's
we'll
gonna
get those
happen.
characters popping up in like maybe other areas, the ones that do survive. But I wasn't thinking we'd see like Guardians of the Galaxy 4. I feel like this is it.
Maybe they'll retitle it, but I think you'll get a Guardians. Like even nowadays, you get stuff like Ghost Riders on the team and Venom. Like I think they can put some other fun MCU characters. Like they could actually, I don't think they will, but you could actually put like Thor on there proper for a movie or something like that. Like
Get
so, like,
Taika to direct.
I think he's done too. I think maybe we'll see. But he's working on Star Wars, remember? But I think we're definitely getting another Guardians, unless this like pulls an Ant-Man and Wasp and like just craps out the second weekend. I think Guardians is. I think we'll see a fourth down the line with Star-Lord and a new team. You know,
I
because
think
you
it's
get that thing like
incredibly
Avengers. you know?
low priority for them, and they just got to figure out who's going to do it, and that's a big.
Yeah.
Those are big shoes to fill. So I think they're just kicking it down the road. They have no urgency to it, but yeah, I think it'll happen again at some point.
And I think this will be easier too, because I think with this one at the time when James Gunn was gone, no one wanted to take it because it was like James's movie, right? Like, oh well, he was writing the third one. Where this is like, hey, we want someone to come and put a whole new fresh coat of paint on
It's
the
a good
Guardians.
ending.
Yeah.
He's having it on his terms.
Do something different with it. Give us a new vibe. Let's get a hot young director out there and just go. You know, like how James Gunn was, right? He was not nobody, but he was an up and comer with Guardians 1, and that made him a household name, right? So get someone like that again, where it's like, okay, who? Let's get I don't know, someone in there, like James Gunn's other brother. He has another brother.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
there's
didn't
three
know that.
guns, I believe.
The three guns. That's what they call themselves. I'm just like, I hate these guys.
They were not popular in school with that name.
Yeah. Oh, the three guns, eh?
Bully Travis. Into the
Yeah.
ring.
Yeah. No. Will there be any other MCU cameos? So any characters that we've met before pop up in this?
My mind just went to like Carol because of space and like
Oh.
she's around. I
He's on Earth
chronologically.
right now, though.
Yeah, I know that's the thing, but I don't know. There could be. I feel like she just moves really fast through the galaxy. She could just be in a quick little Easter egg thing, but I don't know. I'm not super strong on that one. It's just the first one that popped in my mind. Just thinking of Carol in space.
That's fair.
That's my nomination.
I'm gonna say I feel like no. I think there's enough going on here. I don't even think like a post credit is really gonna feature another character. I'm gonna say the one that I think there's a chance is Red Skull if they go back to Vormir
Ooh.
and there's something going
Oh,
on Vormir.
jeez! Wow,
Like
that
maybe they
means
merge
something.
Gamora's mind with the other Gamora. I don't know. I don't
And
know
he's
what it is.
still there. He's still there, even though that's
Still
still
waiting,
yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna go, but then Steve, he returned the stone, and now I'm back.
Cursed to guide others to a treasure I can never
Yeah.
achieve.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of other, like in Endgame, Infinity War, like big characters that really interact with the Guardians, and it would be like
Thor, Thor appear up.
Yeah,
I don't think so, but
just because we just had that in Thor: Love and Thunder, I don't see that happening. And then like I don't know, Spidey, Doctor Strange, like Iron Man, obviously not. So I don't know. I don't think so.
faked his death, and he's
I mean, I
hanging
guess
out with the
technically
Guardians.
everyone's there in the Endgame scene,
Yeah.
but they don't really interact. I'm thinking more of like that battle on Titan Moon or whatever that location was. But yeah, I'm gonna say no, except for maybe Red Skull, but even that's like 1% chance. It's low.
Yeah, I think it'd be like some weird character. Like, I really hope this still it counts because it's a Guardians character. I mean, it doesn't count, but like, I really hope we see the Collector again, just in some form or fashion. But even something like the Grand Master, like, I feel like if we see any other MCU characters, it'll be some other people in space. Howard the Duck. There's another one has to be
Yeah,
right
I
because
mean-
he's in both of them and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like discounting anyone who's from Guardians 1 or 2.
Yes,
Obviously, those.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought hopefully the Grandmaster, that could be fun if we got, because I'll be always a little disappointed if you never had the Collector and Grandmaster interact at all because they're brothers, and it just would, I think that would be a fun just scene for them to come up to. So I feel like it'll be minor characters like that. I don't think you get anyone massive. I don't think you get a Thor. I don't think you get a Carol Danvers. Because I just feel like it's gonna be pretty off to its own, and even in the credits. So yeah, I think minor ones, but ones that I'd have to really like look at a character sheet and be like, okay, I think this one. So I think they'll be around, but nothing too huge. Like even in the other Guardians, we've never got huge cameos before, right? We have, but it's been like Howard the Duck as a cameo. It's not been like, hey, Iron Man did pop up, or Nick Fury came and recruited Groot. It's like, no, that doesn't happen in this world.
It's
So.
Groot specifically.
Yeah, no,
He
not the
ignores everyone
Guardians.
else. Yeah.
Groot, yeah.
Rocket, you have to stay. I'm taking the tree.
Yeah. What about you, Taylor?
I mean, I like that pitch that you make, Kirkland, seeing like a Carol Danvers, space and all that kind of stuff. That makes sense. Like, I definitely Nick Fury, not so much. He's back on Earth. Well,
Is he? This
Yeah,
is
I
time
guess
to recruit
we'll find out.
Groot.
yeah, Groot.
And Groot's just like they've been hiding it. He's like a supporting character in Secret Invasion. Like it's like a two-hander between him and Groot's like dead serious the whole time.
It just
too.
popped in my mind like the comparison of Secret Invasion and then like the Marvels trailer. How different Nick Fury. What the hell's going on?
We're in Secret Invasion. This is my last mission, my last time. I gotta get it right.
It would be
Mr.
cool.
Danvers?
It'd be cool if they had some alluding to Fantastic Four somehow. I don't know. Like
Bold.
maybe you just
John
you see them,
Krasinski
they're
appears.
flying. Yeah, they're flying their ship, and maybe you see like that silver surfboard coasting out the viewport off to the side or
That I
something.
could
Oh,
buy.
don't
That I could
tempt me,
buy.
Frodo.
Yeah.
I like that.
Imagine if they do some sort of stupid origins where Guardians are the ones that accidentally like bump F4 into like their quantum realm to get all their powers and stuff. Like they're like asleep at the wheel and they like everyone gets pissed about it. But
I think in the grand scheme of things, yeah, I would have issues, but in the moment, I think I would just be juicing. I don't know.
like it's the F4 or whatever. I don't give a shit. No one cares about them unless Driver gets cast. Surfer, I actually don't think that Surfer thing's out of the realm of possibility. Like in the background, but that'd be like I don't think he would fly up the screen and be like, "Hey, I'm Silver Surfer." I just think it would be like, "Oh shit!" Like, look at that. Like, or even the way like. Remember when they did the first Watcher cameo in Guardians 2 where they stopped at the planet, so Stanley with the other Watchers, and then they went. I don't think it could be Silver Surfer, but maybe you do something like that with another character, Harry Styles, Star
Galactus.
Fox or something. Yeah, just eating a planet, just All right, and then we talked about a little bit end credits. They've been confirmed. There's 2 of them. I was surprised. I was shout out to Brent to Marvel Alliance. He made it a fact or fiction that there would or wouldn't be. I actually thought there wasn't going to be. I thought I was going to go the Endgame rounds as like a final movie. As James Gunn, there wouldn't be. But yeah, I don't. Because I don't, if they're marketing as like this final Guardians movie, which like I said, I don't believe it is. I don't really want them to be doing any, like, I don't want setup really in the end credits. I usually do. I'm always looking for that next, like, what's going on. Like, I guess it literally is, hey, Star-Lord, yeah, you're coming to help out the Avengers. Unless it's very specific, I don't know. So then is it going to be funny ones? Like, the only one I could see that could be a setup is Mr. Warlock, I guess.
Yeah,
but
that's what I was gonna say.
yeah, and even funny ones. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna want that after if it is some emotional finale and I'm ugly crying, and so I was thrown off guard. So I really don't know what these are. I'm gonna lean to that. There's gonna be something funny, and then I guess one setup one, but I don't buy that this time around.
Pip
so.
the Troll.
Oh fuck yeah! He's on the surfboard. He's like, you thought it was Silver Surfer? It's me, Pip the Troll, and he
Silver
looks
Pip.
worse than yeah.
I'm gonna go with Warlock. Actually, I like that. I'm gonna say that Warlock kind of appears in the middle point ish, and they have an interaction with him, but then
He's
you
playing
want
drums.
this. He's playing the drums, and then but you want the final, like the big conclusive fight against the High Evolutionary, and whoever dies there to be. You want that to be a moment between the Guardians, between the people that we know and love. If Warlock's there and he's just like reacting in the background, and he's like, I don't know these people. I don't know. Maybe that's kind of my theory. Is that you'll interact with him, and then he'll leave or get beaten or something like that. But then the post credit will be him maybe joining up with the Guardians, reconnecting, or just like what he's doing next. If like let's say there's an intermediary, there's a bridge between Adam Warlock and actually being on the Guardians team. Maybe he swerves through some other project. I don't know what it is, but it'd be something in that realm. And then I don't know for the jokey one. I don't know. You don't really want a jokey one. I'm really surprised when you said there's gonna be 2. I was gonna say that there's not gonna be any, or maybe one just like little goofy one, or maybe it's like literally just a Marvel's thing and it's completely unrelated to this. It's just here's our next movie, like they've done a couple times in the past.
Yeah.
So,
But no, it's from one of the 3 Gunn brothers. So
yeah, what would the jokey one be?
it's just James Gunn. I just feel like it'd just be
Like
some.
which character is it? Like
It could be
maybe
Groot
it's like
still
a Cosmo,
doing stuff.
like Cosmo and Lila, or like
if
talking about.
oh, Cosmo's a big high
Yeah.
contender, I think. Cosmo and Howard Duck having a
Yeah, there you
conversation.
go. Cosmo. There you go. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
or something if your theory is
Starting
right
in
about the
first.
baby, like Rocket running after a little rocket baby, like something like that, where I think it'll be James Gunn approved, of course, and that's why I just feel like it's weird that he'd put that in the in any of them. But yeah, I think something with the animals, it'll be an animal related one, So
Yeah.
I'm still just giggling over Pip showing up and looks worse. He's like 8-bit or something, like
yeah,
just
that's
terrible.
we didn't have time. We had to move everyone to the
Pixel
Marvels.
art.
Yeah, pixel art
God
Pip.
damn.
That might look cooler, honestly. Yeah, I kind of like when we were talking about Warlock earlier, Travis, and you had the concern that like he's just going to be like a thrown in character, just be
Yeah.
like a part of it. I actually think that is what it's going to be. And then I do think it's going to be a setup for his adventure or something. And I really like what you guys said with like the Cosmo interacting with Howard the Duck or just someone interacting. I think that is an appropriate level of like comedy type end credit scene, even in like an emotional type movie, especially if it ends very emotionally, because like those, well, Cosmo, but Howard the Duck, like that was from the first Guardian, so it's just like coming full circle, tying it in. Yeah, very just James Gunny. So
Gunny.
I put my vote on those ones for sure. I don't think it's gonna be anything too ridiculous. Hopefully not just like a random alien just saying something weird, and then I want to feel something for both these scenes. Yeah, like I don't want it to just be like a comedy type ending, and I'm just sitting there like, why did I just wait here for like 7 extra minutes and then credits? Never want to be feeling that.
I'm not seeing Superman Legacy now.
Yeah, it's like could have started the review already. Oh my god.
Well, anything else to shout out on Guardians?
Sorry, I feel like Kirklin could actually just randomly die in a post credit, and that would be the ending.
He dies in the shitter, just Elvis style.
I feel like he accidentally kills himself with the
Oh fuck!
the arrow.
Oh, the
thing.
arrow. That could be fitting actually. Yeah, for that
They're
character.
not. No, he's not killing himself there. He went to the end game battle.
No,
he can control it
accidentally.
now.
Not-
I know.
not-
He can control it
suicide.
now. Yeah.
He's like trying to call someone and he whistles.
Yeah, no, I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think they're doing some and Craiglin taking his own life. I think that would have trickled out, and people have been like, "Hey, fuck this movie. That's not called.
Don't
for."
see this movie because of the
Yeah.
end credit scene.
Yeah, this is a disrespect to the character. Like, imagine that the movie's like a 10 out of 10, and this scene. Oh man! All
Just
right.
be everybody's just so puzzled.
Yeah. And this guy's doing Superman. Fuck, you thought the Snyder films were dark. We're in for something now. Check out SnyderCon. I'm gonna be on a panel. So ladies and gentlemen, yeah, let's move. Oh, actually, we gotta wait for Taylor to be back because he's gone. He has the chat GPT ending, and he's just gone now to get some sort
He
of
might
ice
never
cream
be
or something like that. No, he's out of here.
We'll just be dead air until he gets back.
Yeah.
It worked.
Look at that, it worked. You summoned him.
He doesn't have headphones. He's gonna take. Oh, look how long he takes to get his headphones on.
Stop talking
Taylor-
about him. Stop talking about
Taylor,
him.
we're ready for the chat GPT here. We're waiting
We've
for
been
you.
waiting. We have no
Yeah,
content.
We've been
We
here
don't
for
know
an
what to say.
hour.
Dead air.
Dead air for
10
an
minutes.
hour. Yeah, we talked about Pip the Troll for 20 of it.
Unmute
muted.
yourself. Unmute.
It's gonna be more dead air.
I already read it, guys. So, I asked, write me an in-depth sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy 2 after Avengers Endgame. Because I had to be very specific with this because it was
Okay.
saying, I'm an AI, I can't spoil anything, I don't know anything about the movie, so like, okay.
I'm the high evolutionary.
Yeah. Taylor's computer just hacked.
Pip the troll.
Okay,
So-
here we go.
After the events of Avengers Endgame, the Guardians of the Galaxy are still a team, but they are struggling to
Good.
find their place in the universe now that Thanos is gone. Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and Groot are all dealing with the aftermath of the snap and the
Gamora's
loss
already back with them, eh?
of their friend and teammate.
Shitty
Gamora.
robot.
Wait,
So they're all dealing with this.
So Gamora's dealing with losing Gamora.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, that's tough.
who was
Okay,
sacrificed
so wait,
by
wait.
Thanos
Is
in
it
order
is
to
it because we
soul
have
stone.
2 different timeline Gamoras? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So she said that she lost stuff. Okay. Now you buy it so far.
Well, not sad. They're dealing with the aftermath of
Okay.
it. This is how it works.
Sorry, Chat GPT.
How
The mo-
dare you? Insert emotion into this.
Yeah.
The movie begins with the Guardians on a mission to retrieve a powerful artifact from a distant planet. During their mission, they encounter a new enemy, a powerful alien race known as the Sovereign. The Sovereign are led by Aisha, who has created a new genetically engineered creature called
That's the
Adam
gold
Warlock.
lady, right? Isn't it?
They fought these guys in Guardians too. Okay.
Bear with me.
Okay. So they're fighting Warlock. Okay.
They've created a new genetically engineered creature called Adam Warlock with the sole purpose of destroying the Guardians. The Sovereign are seeking revenge against the Guardians for stealing their precious batteries in the previous movie. So we got that.
Even though first time meeting them again in this movie, it's the first time. But okay. Go ahead.
As the Guardians are fighting the Sovereign, they suddenly find themselves transported to a different part of the galaxy. There, they meet a group of
Plot of the
aliens.
Marvels.
They meet a group of aliens who explain that they have been brought together to save the universe from a new threat. The Guardians are surprised to learn that this group includes former Avengers such as Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, and Ant-Man.
Carol Danvers.
Man,
Oh, we're
hot
gonna
off
stack.
Quantumania. He's back in space.
You got him, and then you got Carol Danvers as a movie next, and then you got That's a great Avengers lineup right there,
Yeah,
man.
I like it. I really do.
Fuck. That's awesome.
They are joined by other heroes such as Nova, Adam Warlock, and Kassar. So now Adam Warlock has joined them.
It's probably like a Gamora situation, right? There's two of them.
Wait, Kazar, like the fucking caveman guy? What's he
I don't
doing?
remember who Kassar is.
Yeah, who
Never
is
heard-
Kazar?
From X-Men? He's the he's like the guy of the Savage Land.
Is that actually who
What's
they're
he doing
referring
in
to?
space?
With his loincloth.
Shit.
Just in
Okay.
space.
Fuck. I
There
can't
you
wait to
go.
see him on the Avengers team. That's gonna be awesome. Oh.
They
Yeah,
better
there
keep
he
him
is.
accurate.
Okay.
to
He
the
just
show.
casually name drops the Savage Land.
Yeah. I have a place we could hide.
The threat they face is a powerful entity known as the Magus, who is an evil version of Adam Warlock. Have you heard of this, Travis?
Okay. I didn't know that was his name, but yeah, sure. Okay, so now we have 3 Adam Warlocks.
3 Adam Warlocks.
Two Gamoras.
Shit.
Yeah.
The
One
Magus
Kazar.
has been awakened by the actions of the Guardians. Is determined to destroy all life in the universe. The only way to stop him is to destroy the cocoon in which he is kept, which will also destroy Adam Warlock.
Oh, that's fun. That they kill both characters at the same time.
All three.
Okay.
All three
All
of them.
three,
All
yeah.
three.
Okay.
As the Guardians and the other heroes race to stop the Magus, they must confront their own personal demons.
Of course.
Makes me laugh just screaming. And work together as a team. Star-Lord and Gamora have to deal with their complicated relationship, while Drax comes to terms with the loss of his family.
Still,
Rocket must still come into terms. Rocket must confront his past, and Groot is forced to grow up quickly. In the final battle, the Guardians and their new allies face off against the Magus and his army. It was a brutal, intense battle, but they managed to destroy the cocoon, killing Adam Warlock and the Magus. However, the cost of victory is high, as many of the heroes do not survive the battle.
Oh, fuck. We're losing Spider-Man in this movie.
Yeah, Spider-Man dead for sure. In the aftermath, the Guardians are left to mourn their fallen friends, but they also find a renewed sense of purpose. They realize they are more than just a group of misfits. They are heroes who have the power to make a difference in the universe. Movie ends with the Guardians flying off into space, ready to take on whatever challenges comes their way.
Wow, that was hype. Kazar and Spider-Man on one team.
it
That's
didn't-
Kazar drops not what I was expecting.
No.
It didn't
No.
specify like the desk, because I asked it a secondary question, like, okay, like who's biting the bullet here, or who dies in the script is what I wrote.
Yeah.
Several heroes died during the final fight against Magus and his army. Well, I do not have full control over the script it wrote. I can provide some possible scenarios. And it was one possible scenario. Yeah, Adam Warlock and Magnus both die. Another possible scenario is Nova and Kassar sacrifice themselves.
Damn, we just got him.
We just got him.
We just got him. Drax
do us
or
like that,
Rocket
God.
could make the ultimate sacrifice.
So
Well, we
Kazar
know
makes
that.
a sacrifice, but they make the ultimate sacrifice. Okay.
Yeah. Says too that whoever lives or dies is up to the writers and directors of this movie.
Oh, of course.
Wow.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
So
yeah.
that's there
Goes
you go.
without saying.
Feige.
Oh.
Spider-Man, Kassar, Ant-Man's back. Like it's
Yeah.
good
I
stuff.
want to see
Three
Kazar now.
Warlocks.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hype movie, man. I can't wait to see who they cast as Kazar. You know,
7 days.
they should get Alexander Skarsgård after Northman. I feel like he'd like.
Oh,
he'd look
yeah.
good,
That's
you
a good
know?
one.
Imagine that.
Glenn
the agents-
Powell.
Yeah. Imagine that. Your agent's
Oh.
like, "Hey, we finally got the MCU role. Great. What is that? You're gonna be playing Kazar.
And you're gonna make the ultimate sacrifice in your first movie.
First movie in. Done.
Hang on a sec. I'm following with S-Bub's comment.
What? Which
is?
one? Oh, what the post-credit scene is?
Yeah.
You're gonna. I feel like that's gonna be too specific for the AI bot. You know, I feel like you can't pull that up. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I could surprise
Let me
you.
see here.
that's up to the writers, Taylor. Stop asking me
Yeah.
these questions. How long is it gonna
That'd be
take you,
creepy
Taylor?
if it just said Taylor.
Yeah.
Just
Get back to
completely name
recording.
Your
Are you-
viewers are waiting.
Are you just chatting with it now? How long?
The
is it-
screen fades to black
Okay,
after the
perfect.
final scene of Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Mhm.
As the credits begin to roll, but just when you think the movie's over, the screen fades back in to show post-credit scene. We see a mysterious figure standing in the shadows, looking out at space. The camera slowly pans up to reveal that's none other than Adam Warlock.
A fourth one? Is it a fourth one now?
Yeah, I guess so. Adam turns to the camera and speaks. It is time for me to take my place among the cosmos. The universe is in need of a protector, and I will answer the call.
He's talking to the audience.
Suddenly, a portal opens up behind him, and out steps the High Evolutionary.
Well, right. In this version of the script, though, he didn't get killed, right? The High Evolutionary, so he didn't get
He's not
killed.
in the movie at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
The High Evolutionary looks at Adam and nods. We have work to do, he says. The scene ends with Adam and the High Evolutionary walking through the portal and disappearing into the unknown reaches of space.
And then you get the Adam Warlock will return tag and stuff. That's
Maybe the High Evolutionary survives, and this is the actual.
This
post-credit
could be.
scene.
This
We've
literally
got
could be the
work
end
to
credit
do.
scene. This literally, we got work to do, Pip. This could
He's
be
with
the,
Pips at his side.
Oh man, that's great. Okay,
That was good.
let's take an ad break. We'll get to some trailers, Evil Dead rankings. We'll be right back.
Mm.
Oh, okay. And we're back. So, Taylor Kirkland, give your quick thoughts on Transformers. We'll do some quick hits and some trailers here. You guys excited for this? Because I think Kirkland,
When-
you officially confirm you'll be reviewing with Taylor, right? You
Yeah,
jumped on that?
oh,
Okay,
yeah,
there you go.
absolutely. I think this trailer, like both there's only been two now, right? I think there was
Just
the
two, yeah.
teaser and then this now, and
Yeah.
I like it's just nice eye candy. I feel like there's scenes on there. I'm like, man, get some popcorn going. Like this is gonna be a fun time. I think. I'm not caught up at all in the Transformer movies, but it seems like the timing is after Bumblebee because this is 1994.
Yeah,
It said in the trailer.
I think they gave a specific time that CinemaCon Day. It's like it's 3 years after. Like it is
Okay.
after
Yeah.
Bumblebee. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. I don't have to do some research to get in there. But yeah, like I said, like I'm not expecting anything crazy story wise. Like they showed off some like sequences with like the humans and like their family, and I'm like, that's not why I'm gonna be going to see this movie. It's gonna be for the awesome CGI robots just clashing and the scale of the World Eater, whatever the hell they called that.
Unicron.
Unicron?
Mhm.
Yeah, Unicron. What a sweet looking villain. I don't know how they're gonna destroy him. Kind of reminded me of Megas actually from that Jet GBT you're just talking about. But yeah, no, I think some of those scenes just look really really cool. So I'm excited to see it. Good theatrical experience, I think.
There is a high chance, Kirkland, that this might be a solo review because that is within like 72 hours of my
right.
child.
And I will not be reviewing this. So unless the fans here, like if you really want me to do a solo review, let me know, and I will
My
do it.
Solo
unborn
review.
baby wants you.
Let's
to
do
do a
Never
solo
done it
review.
before, but yes.
Doing with the baby. Just Kirk on the baby.
So yeah, I'll keep you very much in the loop on that. But
Please.
this trailer got me so ecstatically excited. I think with Bumblebee presenting that soft kind of like reboot, still universe, however you want to take it, like with Transformers, fantastic. We got that establishment, and now getting into this is great because to me, watching this trailer, the unveiling of Unicron, which is fantastic, I felt like okay, this is. It feels like a spiritual successor to what we didn't get as a follow-up to Transformers 5 The Last Night. Because in Transformers The Last Night, they established Unicron as an enemy that was upcoming. And again, they didn't follow up with that sixth one. Didn't pan out. So to get Unicron now just like shoved in as the villain in this is great. I'm just so happy we get to see this character in here. We don't have to be driving around more with like Megatron, Galvatron, anything like that. We can just get into some more of these obscure, super villainous Transformers characters. Some of the action sequences that they showed in this trailer were absolutely fantastic. I was just loving it. Just when you see all of the beasts and everything fighting in the whole battlefield, and oh my god, RC just riding on top of. I don't know what the beasts are necessarily called, but I know some of the Transformers, like RC, and so just seeing these characters just all like fighting together, like our fight is your fight. And again, Peter Cullen coming back, like the man is in his 80s and he's still voicing Optimus Prime, and his voice, like when he talks, like, oh yeah, every time, like in these movies when he's like, let them come, we will bring the fight to them, it's like, fuck, I'm just like just like getting into it, like let's go fucking fight them, like let's take them on. And like he's just he emanates, just his voice emanates that leadership. Like, man, like if I wish like they should have experimented this with like when you're in high school and stuff like that, because if like, you know, when a teacher says like, oh, it's time to take a test, like I don't want to fucking take a test, but even like Optimus Prime saying let them come, let's take that test, and it's like, shit, I want to take that test, let's fucking do it. And it's just, God, he's just incredible voice.
You know, my favorite thing about Transformers Prize the Beast is getting oh, 24-hour stream is still in my bones.
Still living on.
Yeah. Dylan, you excited for Black Mirror come back? Great cast. Got Aaron Paul, Zazie Beetz. I forgot I was a scrub. I didn't have the whole list up here, but a slew of actors that have been gone for a few years. Because I feel like they maybe thought, maybe like us, I remember when we reviewed those last few episodes, I think there's just a general of like, yeah, like they're good, but like something's missing here, so they've been gone for a while. So obviously we won't really know till you get into the episodes, but did this get the juices flowing, or you kind of feel like, yeah, maybe it's still should be on the shelf for a bit longer?
No, I mean, I just didn't even know this was happening. Obviously, it'd been announced at some point that it was in production, but I just kind of assumed this thing was dead in the water. I thought they were like did their run of seasons and they had moved on. So I'm excited to just find out now that it is coming back for another season. Even though I feel like season 5 was maybe the low point for me.
Yeah,
but it still is like always interesting and always something different and unique. And yeah, so I mean, watching the trailer, it's hard to get too hyped. I think for me, it's when I'm on Netflix, which I'm not even subscribed to, so I'll have to figure that out for when this thing actually drops, so I want to watch it. And I'm like just looking and I'm reading the synopsis and I'm looking at like the thumbnails.
Yeah,
that's when I'm like getting hyped. I'm like, oh, that seems really interesting. And then here's just like this, half an hour long journey of some trippy idea. So very excited for this. What is the release date? Did it get one with this trailer?
I feel like it was June something, and maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see, because I think it was season 6, right?
I don't see it in this article that I have open, so I don't know.
It's the second most searched thing. So it
usually
says
for
sometimes
Netflix, like
in
they
June.
announce things closely to when they come out, so this makes sense.
Yeah.
If it's coming out in June, but yeah. So you mentioned some of the cast: Aaron Paul, Zazie Beetz. We also got Salma Hayek in there, Michael Cera, which I can't wait to see that. Annie
Kate
Murphy,
Mara.
who plays Alexis in Schitt's Creek. I'm really excited to see her in there. Not a pairing you'd think of, but I've just never seen her in any other role, so that's very exciting. Some other names here that I recognize but can't put a face to the name. So, yeah, I don't know. I would say I'm very excited for this now. It's a nice surprise too. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm and a thank you, Espos, for tagging me in the "Let Them Come" tweet from Transformers, because someone has done that. So, yeah, I think the break was good. I want it to get back to the point where you watch an episode and it's like in your bones for the next few weeks, whether it's good or bad. Whether it's like San Junipero, where it's like I've said this before, one of my favorite hours of any content. I still think about it, or like some of the early stuff that was very disturbing, and it's like the pig episode. Everyone knows that, right? Like, I'm not saying I need something like that.
One
but,
and
like,
only episode I've ever watched of Black Mirror.
gotta keep going, man. It's some great stuff. But like, it's just, they always used to stick with you. And I know some people think that it all got too North Americanized and too Hollywoodized, which maybe could be a point. So, and that's where, again, it's not about the cast. The cast is great to see, but if the episodes are just kind of fine, the cast isn't going to matter, right? Like, God, what was his name? Daniel Kaluuya was in an episode before anyone even know who he was, right? It was a fantastic episode. So that's where, for me, it just has to hit those story beats. I'm hoping it's going to be more aching back to the past. So we'll see. I'm always, Black Black Mirror's always, especially because they always got like they're always like made well the episodes. They always got good production value. They always got good acting, whether they're no name or a star. So I'm excited that's back, and I'm wanting it to be that show where like, oh man, wait till you get episode 3. Where I feel like with season 5, you and me both were like, oh, we enjoyed it, but was just kind of, yeah, that was good, and like that was good, but there wasn't anything that we were talking about 2 weeks later. Other than I think I did enjoy that Anthony Mackie Yaya episode of like the fighters. That was a fun one, but that was about it. The rest of them, and I guess I remember Miley like was a voice in a doll, but that's really all I remember from that season. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to think too. Like just for anyone who wasn't listening, then I think we did reviews for 5. I want to say 4, maybe even.
I think so. 4.
3?
Yeah, I think. No, we know 3 was San Junipero, and we didn't do that one. 4
so
we
4
did
5
do.
probably?
Yeah, I remember making those thumbnails.
Also, too, like this trailer had "I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire" as like the music going in, which I'm just so nostalgic for from Fallout. So I was pretty hyped when even just that music popped on. So yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Speaking of next goal wins. I don't have much to say on here other than just I'm very excited between this and Fassbender Has the Killer coming out in the fall, which is getting rave reviews. This looks like it looks like Taika's going to be back to form, and I'm very happy Fassbender's doing this because he's a very underrated comedic actor. So I think this is going to be fun. I don't watch Ted Lasso. I know people have like kind of made some comparisons to that. This thing's been in the can for like 2 years. Like it's been filmed for a while, but everything I saw from the trailer looks good. I didn't actually know some of those other actresses and actors in there, like Elizabeth Moss. So, yeah, this got 2 thumbs up for me. I think I'm gonna really enjoy this one. I still enjoy Taika's Thor things. I still think the humor sometimes gets too much in those, where in his personal films I don't feel like it goes that way. So, yeah, I'm excited to see this one. This will be one that I'll be checking out right away when I ever can, if we get it in Kelowna, because I'm sure it'll be a smaller release.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this too. Fassbender, just even with the blonde hair, I'm just like I can't wait for that. But it's giving me Hunt for the Wilder People vibes, which is that was like what 5 or 6 movies ago from Taika, so it's been a while, and that's kind of the energy I'm getting from this, which is a very good thing. I love that movie, so yeah, I'm excited because obviously it seems like there's kind of an opening scene where he's getting fired, and that's where you have like a bunch of big Hollywood names, and that will probably be a very fun and silly scene, and then just a bunch of people I don't know, so I'm very excited for that as well. So other than Fassbender, of course. So I'm very much looking forward to this. Like I love his Thor movies, but I love his other non-Thor movies even more. So yeah.
I love that line when he's like, "Just this is everything you've been fighting for," and they're like, "You've been here for 2 days," and he's like, "You understand," and then he just walks away. I like that line. So.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this. I think it was a great trailer. As per your name, Dylan, I laughed. It was just like the lead up to who's directing it. It's like the loser of the Teen Choice Award.
Yeah, it's like the winner of like a Oscar nominee or something like that, and like the loser of the Choice Award.
Yeah, so I thought it was just a very Taika trailer. I haven't seen all of his projects. I've never seen Hunt for the Wilder People. But for some reason, I feel like I've just seen like the trailer when you like hover it over on Netflix so many times. It's like that song sequence. It's like Ricky Baker, and like that song will just come in my head in random moments. And I've never even seen that movie. It's just so catchy. Yeah, I gotta watch it. But I really like this trailer. I really like Ted Lasso, and I didn't get like Ted Lasso vibes from this trailer at all, other than just like this guy is going
plot,
to go
right.
Yeah, I guess so. But like if like before you said that, like I did not think of that comparison at all, and I think this is not anything similar to that at all. So I'm very much looking forward to this because I've just been in a drought for Fassbender. I have not seen him in anything for a while. I think he's raising a family, which is great, but I love him as an actor, so I'm excited to see this, especially in a role that I'm not used to seeing him in. Like I've mostly just seen him play Magneto. That's the collection of movies I've seen him in. Very, very powerful actor, so I'm excited to just see this more complicated is not the right word. A imperfect character, maybe. He looks pretty alcoholic. He's drinking a lot of alcohol in this trailer. But yeah, I'm expecting some nice heartfelt moments, and I think it was just like when we first found out about this movie. It's like Taika soccer movie, Fassbender. It's like, hey, I'm in, and then now getting this trailer, it delivered on the hype. It's got me more excited than where I was already at.
Yeah, I as far as it goes, like for soccer films for me, I've not seen any Ted Lasso. Again, it's not a film, but the only other one I feel like this reminded me of was Kicking and Screaming
I knew
for
you
some
were going
reason.
there.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, what other soccer movies are there?
I
I'm
thought you were
sure
gonna say
there are,
Shaolin Soccer for some reason.
That fucking movie is so good. Me and my dad love that film.
Shaolin Soccer.
I know you do. That's why I thought you were gonna
So
bring it up. The only other
Oh.
soccer movie I could think of. Yeah, that's where I thought you were going.
Movie is incredible, absolutely incredible. But yeah, I'm actually really excited for this film. I think it looks like it's gonna be a fun time. I really enjoy that kind of classic cliche sports team, like teams coming off all these losses. It reminds me of like the Goons thing with Sean William Scott, where he goes in, he's got to like protect like the Flam, and the team like just sucks, but they come around and they start really good movie. They start like picking it up and like getting some goals and stuff like that. So I'm really all for that kind of like underdog story of the team coming together and maybe they don't necessarily get that ultimate win the championship, but like they get the goal, like they were saying. Like, we just want one goal. One goal is what they were pitching in this trailer. So I'm very excited for this, and to see Fassbender in that kind of comedic role, I think that'll be good. I'm really trying to remember what else I've seen him in where he's doing more of that comedic kind of like performance.
Someone
I
watch
feel
Frank.
like
Everyone should watch Frank. Great movie. You know.
I feel like I've seen him in something where he's being kind of humorous. Again, he is kind of in some like certain Magneto roles. He's kind of humorous. I think more like the earlier on ones when he's with Xavier, he's a little more humorous there at times.
He has
But
some
go to find
one-liners,
Logan.
but-
some one-liners. Yeah, the Logan one. That's for sure. But yeah.
Yeah. Hunger Games: The Ballad of Snakes and Song and Snacks, like whatever the stupid title is.
I think
They
you
gotta
have it.
rename that. The Snacks, isn't that great? That's awesome. I don't know. I'm very curious how this is gonna do financially, because I saw this and I was like, I like the franchise enough, and I like the idea of, okay, we're gonna be back in the Hunger Games. It'll be a game, and you have the politics. But I just looked at this like, I have no intention of seeing this in the theaters at all. I'll definitely check this out when it's streamed or something, but I don't feel the pull to go there, and I don't know how many other people are going to feel the pull to go there as well. Like, I don't know. I liked the casting. I can't remember for the talk show host. I thought that was really inspired casting. I can't remember. There's Stanley Tucci. Remember, he's got the flamboyant suits and stuff like that. Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah.
Excuse me, they got him, and he looks like a spitting image. Like, that was like, oh, this is fantastic. I like, Hunter Schafer, my girl's in there.
Oh yeah.
So there's things I like about this. It just was the actual trailer, like what the plot was. I was like, all right, like this didn't pull me in any other way. And again, this idea of like kind of like an origin for Snow, that doesn't get me too excited either. I'm not like, man, I need to know what happened. Like, how did he get this? Like, it just was like a whole bunch of stuff where I think I'll enjoy the lore stuff. Fucking Viola Davis in here, Peter Dinklage, stacked cast. I think I forgot about half these people being in here. So like, they're going for it. I just wish that I was pulled in, other than more, okay, I want to see a game of people killing each other, and I like the cast, so I will check it out. But I don't. Yeah, it was a weird trailer too. A bit. I don't know. The pacing was a little off for me. So.
I'll go next because I feel like I'm kind of the opposite, where I had zero interest at all for this, and then I saw the trailer and it was like, okay, I kind of want to see this. I think, like, I don't know.
Kirklin solo review incoming. That's two.
It's interesting, like, because I went through all the Hunger Games for like the first time. Well, I'd seen the original, but after that, I hadn't seen any of the other ones. So Shay and I did the marathon. Kind of a short marathon, but still we did it, and it was so hard for me to finish those last two movies. It was like, these movies are goddamn awful. I apologize if you really like those movies, but I think they're terrible. I think they're just so bad. Yeah, like no, the
All
last
of them.
two.
Oh, the last two. Okay, yeah, no,
All of them. I
absolutely,
think the
yeah.
first one's good.
No, I thought you were saying, I misheard you. I
Oh,
thought you were
okay,
saying,
okay,
I'm
yeah,
like,
sorry,
all
sorry.
of them. No, like, no,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree. I agree. Those last two, it's a big stumble.
It's so hard to get through, and like Shay and I both were like, oh, we're this far, like we gotta finish it, but like this is hard. And then like she's read the books and everything too, and like I asked what her interest was for this prequel, and she's like, no, I don't care. Like it's just so that, like that's someone that's read the books and yeah, like has their
She's
interest.
read the book, like the Ballad of Songs and Snakes book.
No,
Hunger
not
Games
like
book. I don't know.
the
Is
Hunger
there
Games
a book
book.
for this?
that's
Yeah,
what I was gonna ask.
That's
there
is.
Okay.
This is based off that book because they announced it like right away.
But is that
Did-
book out?
Yeah, it came out a while ago.
Are you
like
can you
after
confirm
Hunger
that?
Games though, right?
After the Hunger Games
Yeah.
books
Date
Okay.
check.
and the
Give me
movies
a
came
date.
out.
Give me a date on that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was like
Um,
2019.
Give me a date.
But yeah, like watching the trailer, I think it was just because it's a new cast for me. It's new world, like the origin of it, and just the actual trailer. I think looked pretty decent. Like, yeah, I think there was some weird things pacing wise, but like the actual costumes and everything that everyone was wearing, like just capturing that feel of this very what's the word? May 19,
Really?
2020 book release. Wow, long
That's
time ago.
fascinating. That book
Bleak
came
time
out.
for things to release, so maybe that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you're probably right there. It just felt like that was fucking dead silent. I don't follow like book release, but I feel like when big franchises something come out, you're like hearing about it. You know, like I wasn't reading the Harry Potter books, but you knew Cursed Child, like a thing was coming out, and I knew there was like an Edward version of Twilight that was coming out of being like, yeah, it was from his perspective. That's so crazy. So there you go. Taylor's right on that one. So
You gave me time to think of my words of this dystopian world. So like I like that, and I did like seeing the cast on there. I think like the main male character who is like kind of the coach. Is that Snow?
it's supposed to be Snow. It's
Okay,
yeah,
I
this
did
is
not
like
get
the-
that at all.
This
from
is
the
like the
trailer.
Phantom Menace for Snow.
Okay.
What the fuck's his
okay.
first name? Why am I just calling him Snow? What does he have a first name? Is it General
Aldous.
Snow? Or?
Maybe like Jebediah.
I didn't.
or
I
something
thought
like
about Aldous, but I'm like, no, that's.
I think
for
Taylor got it.
Russell Brand.
Jebediah Snow.
that. I don't think it's really that.
that's a name right
Anyways,
there.
yeah, because at the end, didn't you hear Donald Sutherland for the first movie? It's like, oh, these things make us change the way we are. Like they took a quote from. the
That's
Hunger
not
Games.
Yeah.
what he said.
I know he
The
didn't say
things you
that.
love can destroy us.
That's pretty
Yeah.
close. The
I've
things
heard
that
that-
things that change you make you the way you are. Like, yeah, I was pretty spot
close
on
at
there.
all. What are you
I was
doing?
pretty spot. I think that's a win for me. But like, no,
think it's a
that
stretch.
that's him. So this is supposed to be like how he became
Okay.
a bad guy.
Yeah, so I'm not. I mean, yeah, I didn't even know that was Snow, and I wasn't in love with seeing that character. It was just the overall what was going on. I think was good enough for me. Music was good. Seeing Hunter Schafer in there was getting me hyped. So yeah, I think there's enough that makes me want to see this. It's dependent on if I can convince Shay to see this for me to go to the theaters. I think otherwise, like Travis, I'll probably just catch it when it comes on VOD or whatever. So
Let's give you a November calendar here too. So this is where like I feel like you're not gonna see it. You got November 3rd, Dune.
I'll probably be in
Part 2.
school around this time as well.
Yeah, November 3rd, you got Dune Part 2. November 10th, you got The Marvels. That same day that Hunger Games comes out, Next Goal Wins comes out.
What the fuck is November? Oh
And
my
then
god.
November
this is insane.
22nd, Disney's Wish comes out. So
It's a made-up name, Superbad Mike.
Wait,
I'm
sorry,
sorry,
when
I'm
does
not
Hunger
buying
Games?
it.
When does
Hunger Game is
November
so
17th.
it goes 17th. So it goes Dune, Marvels, Hunger Games.
And what next goal wins was
Same day as Hunger Games, and then
Oh, I'm
Wish
seeing
is the
that,
next
yeah.
week. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing that, but that's a busy Cornelius
think,
Snow. That
Kirkland?
sounds right.
you
Corey,
hitting the pitch or you hitting the
Coriolanus. I would probably hit the pitch.
It's
over this one.
Coriolanus.
That's what I mean.
Coriolanus. Coriolanus.
It can't be right. It can't be right.
Coriolanus Snow.
Coriolanus.
Coriolanus Snow.
Here
Coriolanus.
comes Anus.
That just looks like someone asked me to spell Cornelius and I fucked it up. Like, that's what it
Coriolanus.
Coriolanus Snow.
Yeah,
Corey,
not
I'd call,
great.
just call
Is-
me Snow.
Is the lead is the lead for this movie the same lady that was in Resident Evil? The show?
I don't
It
think
isn't?
No.
Okay.
No, she's
She looks
uh,
similar.
I was gonna say she's in Shazam too, but you didn't.
She's in
see
Shazam too. She's in West Side Story. She one time tweeted
Okay.
at Dave. she's like, what the hell?
She's in the Master Gardener too. That we're gonna talk about, isn't she?
No, she's
fuck.
not at all.
Familiar face.
She's
She's
gonna
like
be in,
Mystique. She just pops up.
yeah. She's gonna be in Disney's Snow White as well as Snow White. She's like, they're branding her as like the next it girl, and I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know.
Who's
What do
they
you?
in this?
Hollywood,
situation?
definitely.
Okay.
They're pushing her to be like a next
They had a
J-Law.
meeting.
Work
all
for
of Hollywood,
J-Law,
They're like,
yeah.
this,
Well,
the Writers
this right
Guild.
here, it girl. She's
Yeah,
coming in.
that
It's
happens.
striking if she doesn't make
They
it.
tried that with Sam Worthington, Taylor's boy from Avatar, and they like that legitimately does happen where a bunch of agencies like I'm not saying they
Man on a
actually
Ledge. That movie fucking rocks.
Taylor, no one other than you and me have seen that movie.
Taylor, can you just give me a quick Google search on Man of Ledge box office, please? Thank you. There's just certain people.
Didn't rock the box office.
Yeah, there's
Rock
certain
Taylor's home
people
theater.
that just they decide like this is gonna be the next new star, and sometimes that hurts them. So like J-Lo almost got that after people got sick of her. So
47.6 million, and I don't think that's the opening weekend.
That's a
No.
worldwide
Well, what's
total.
the budget though?
yeah, what is the budget?
42 million.
Oh,
The budget's
well, they broke
42
even.
million?
It went positive. Yeah, there we go.
Oh no! With
47.6.
marketing, they're in the fucking hole, my friends. Oh my god, that they've like probably lost like. Oh my god, Sam Worthington, everybody.
Sam Worthington.
But yeah, that or Kirkland, because you were the one that's most excited so far. If you got a ticket,
Look at that image.
what's
Never
it
seen it.
about?
Wait. Saw it in
Well,
theaters.
obviously I know it's
He's
about.
on a
It's got
ledge.
Such a hook.
I get it now.
I don't want to spoil
Is that
it.
a wig or is that his actual hair?
I'll let you
That's a
be the
wig.
judge.
Yeah,
pretty real at
there's
the
some
time.
pretty real at the time. Oh god, 40. Jeez,
It's
So,
got
yeah.
an interesting story. I don't want to spoil the whole plot. It's
Yeah.
Is it
Don't,
42
'cause I need to-
million budget
yeah.
worthy?
Watch the trailer.
I'll pass, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take
So
your
me
word
and
for
Dylan
it.
already said no. Kirkland was going to ask you. You only got a ticket to see Next Goal Wins or this. What you walking into?
Man on the Ledge.
No,
yeah, that's coming back to theaters. Like, I think we can really make an extra. 20
I didn't know what
million.
scenario we were pitching here.
Hunger Games or Next Goal Wins. Which would you pick? Kind of head. They're the same
Next
day.
goal
so-
wins.
Next
Yeah,
goal,
next
okay.
goal wins. Yeah.
There you go. Taylor Field
Man on Ledge. I'm
again. That's why Taylor's looking at a private screens today in the Discord. He's gonna guess watch Man on Ledge.
yeah.
I added
Put it back in theaters.
$37 to the total box office run.
That too. I have to, if we were to do a private screening, you have to sell a minimum of 50 tickets. I don't think I'm selling a minimum of 50 tickets.
That's what
for
it said. A
Man on
minimum of
Ledge.
50 tickets.
That's what.
So
the
you're telling me in
requirements,
Kelowna,
yeah.
if we screen one of our films, I have to ensure that 50 people are gonna come.
I think we could get 50 people for one of our films.
50
Yeah,
Patreons.
I have to apologize after, but Next Goal Wins or Hunger
Um,
Games. Taylor, you didn't make your choice.
I'm going Hunger Games to
Oh,
be honest.
God.
I feel like Next Goal Wins. I could stew on that for a bit and wait for the drop on VOD or go see it like afterwards at some point. But I really do want to go see more about what's going on with this world in the Hunger Games because those later films I really like the kind of transition that we got for it turns from the games and turns into this. Like the district, I can't remember which district it was, but the militarized district, and I can't remember the actress's name, but she's
Jennifer
becoming
Lawrence.
Corey Landis.
not Jennifer Lawrence. No, she had
Natalie
Schaefer.
Dormer,
president. She was like
Julianne
president-
Moore,
Thank you. Yeah, Miss Moore. She went in there and just basically.
Miss Moore.
Miss Moore.
Miss Moore.
Tell
The doctor will see
me
you.
more. Tell me more.
Does he look like a
Like
bitch?
a bitch.
So stupid.
She her whole dynamic there where she's turning into like a new Snow basically, like new Hunger Games, all that kind of stuff. It's just great story dynamics there, but just to kind of get a little bit more context of President Snow's background, I am interested in that because he was such a fascinating character. And again, it's the actor that definitely made that character
Yeah.
great for
That's
sure.
what I worry about with
I
this
mean,
guy. I don't know.
Getting like Panem Eminem is very, very weird, I'd say.
That's why you put Eminem on the thumbnail. I was like, why the
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
is Eminem E-Mine on the thumbnail? Now it makes
Immediately when you see him with that haircut in the trailer, it's like
That's
that's him. That's
I didn't
really
think
him.
about that,
Mom
but I
spaghetti.
won't not think about it now. Yeah, they should just de-age Donald Sutherland. Just get him back. Fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, I'm curious to see like the whole dynamics here and what's going down and why Snow turns into this
Snow.
conniving evil guy, I guess you could say, because obviously he's got love.
Coriolanus.
Coriolanus. He wasn't born with that name. He
What
earned
made
it.
Coral Anus
He earned
just
it.
go over the edge?
I'm excited to see it.
Dylan,
Eventually.
floating your boat. You ready for more games?
I'm not quite on. I'm not on Kirkland's tier by any means, but I was pleasantly surprised. I was expecting to go into this trailer and come out just like a cool 1 out of 10 excitement, but I'm actually like at a solid like 5 out of 10 excitement. I thought it was a really
Ooh.
like good trailer. I too was popping off at all of the actors and actresses in this thing. I was really happy with the cast in there. And I think for me is like those last two movies. Taylor liked the direction they went, but I could not care less. I'm like, I am here for the games and nothing else. And when they didn't do that anymore, I checked out. And I still have never seen those movies. I never did that marathon like Kirkland. So
Don't do
to
it.
see a new circle and all that, I'm like, hell yeah! I definitely want to check this out. Now, can I wait for it to hit Disney Plus or whatever it's going to go to? Yes, that's where I'll be seeing this thing. And if I hear really bad things, I'll just skip the first 20 minutes until we're in the game, and then I'll just enjoy it for kind of that fun action set piece sort of situation. But hopefully,
Just
it's
walk
pretty
in the
solid.
theater 20 minutes late.
No, at home, Taylor.
Okay.
I'm not going to the theater. Okay, I'm seeing next goal wins, and I'm not going back the weekend after
Just-
either. Okay,
It's just
don't
like
you dare put that on me. Taylor.
creeping through the door to see like when the game starts.
20 minutes
Yeah.
in.
So that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, pleasant surprise. I actually thought the trailer was pretty decent for what I've seen. Was there a trailer before? I think I saw
No,
something.
This is
Maybe a
the
teaser
There
or
was a
something?
teaser.
Yeah.
There was a teaser of the
And that-
logo, the snake.
Right, and whatever, and I don't know, images and stuff
snacks.
I'd seen, everything looked very generic. But I was like, okay, this actually has some gusto to it. So yeah, we'll see.
just to
Excited to
break
hear what
down
people think of it when it
From
comes
what
out.
I've heard, this
That
one
trailer-
isn't the games much.
The trailer was pretty much all about the games,
Well,
though.
I don't
so
know. There is a game to some extent. So.
Yeah, but like I wonder if
I
like
saw the circle. I saw the fucking gunfire and everyone run in the center.
I
so.
wonder if that's the selling point and that's like a set piece, and then the movie's like all about
Right.
after, because you see a lot of Minum dude in like soldier gear and going around the world. Like that's my work, because especially there's two shot. Like here's why I think Espos might be right. You have Snow with the hair, and then you have Snow looking at Minum. I think he has the hair. He trains her. She wins her game, and then after it's like a Romeo and Juliet. So I actually
And that's when I roll credits. That's when I I hit back and then I watch Next Goal Wins again.
You just hit chapter select. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a fun short film for Hunger Games and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I bet that's actually what's going to happen. Is when his hair is shaved, it's after the games. And if you watch this trailer, most of the trailers when his head is shaven. So I think, yeah, that's a good theory going on. But let's see. But they might change it from that to make it more action packed. Oh, because the books are like that. Okay, there you go. So. We'll see. And then this one, as you can do when you join Patreon, Master Gardener Clay threw this in here. And it's funny because this almost made it on my most anticipated. I did the letterbox, like movies of May. This is a movie that I think it was like a solid enough trailer, but it wasn't Joel Edgerton. And I was already checking out before you put it in there, Clay, because of Joel. But if it wasn't him, I don't know if I'd see it. But Joel's the selling point, and the director. I like director. He's written a lot of things I like. He's fucking run Taxi Driver for all, So I'm hoping the movie's better than trailer. There's some interesting stuff of him taking on this apprentice, and then they kind of start an affair. I'm not sure if they're gonna play in the age thing, because they seem to make it seem like he's a lot older than her. So I'm not saying that's like a good thing, but I'm saying like for a story wise, that could be something that they play with. So I was interested. They didn't like light me on fire, but I usually Edgerton's one of those guys that I usually watch anything he's kind of in. So I'm kind of already there. So
Did you guys get? I saw a trailer for this. It must have been Evil Dead or Beau's Afraid. And I don't know which one.
really, no, this is the first time I've seen it.
Yeah, no
I
one
bet
else.
Beau.
I guess. Eh?
I bet Beau. Yeah.
Maybe it was Beau. I feel like Beau had even though the movie's very long, had 7 trailers or.
Mm.
I don't know what it is this year. I feel like every movie is playing so many freaking trailers, and it's driving me nuts over here. Master
Travis, too.
Gardner.
Yeah.
Oh man, not for me. It just seems kind of generic and like uninspired, a little slow and uninterested. Like I feel like I can't even come up with a single adjective, like a positive adjective for this, other than Joel Edgerton. Like cool. I feel like I haven't seen him in anything in a bit, so that's cool. But other than that, there's really nothing grabbing me about this. Feels like a movie I've seen before, so I don't know. I think if it comes out and I hear some good things, I'll check it out on a streaming service or something like that. Why not? But that's about it for this.
Yeah, I'll go. I feel like I'm kind of with Dylan here, where I was watching the trailer and it was all about gardening, And then you see these gangster tattoos or something that he's got, and then he's like capping people, and I'm like, did I skip trailers? Like, am I in another movie here? And then we go back to the gardening, and it's like set up for gardening to be like a big thing. I thought it was gonna be like a very interesting movie on this like super obsessive gardener, almost to like the Menu level of like that chef character that's just like so obsessed with this craft. But it just seemed like we went into a different direction there, and then yeah, they had like the mini romance just set up like in the trailer, and I was just kind of puzzled on like what was going on. It didn't make me really want to rush out to see this. Joel Edgerton too is an interesting case because I feel like I've liked him in everything I've seen him in, but like I couldn't just like pitch you like 5 movies that I've seen him in or anything. But then just like going through his IMDb, I'm like, man, I've seen so many of these movies that he's been in, but like I don't think of like when I think of Smoking Aces, I don't think of like Joel Edgerton or something like that. So like The Green Knight, like some big powerful movies he's a part of. And like I said, like when I see him and see him act, like he's a phenomenal actor. But yeah, there's something weird there. I feel like I was going in a direction, but I kind of just got lost somewhere. But yeah, for this trailer, I wasn't super amazed. Left it a little bit confused. So I'm with Dylan. I think I'm gonna pass on this one, unless word of mouth is amazing, and who knows, potential Golden Geek nominee, even though it's a little bit not of a geek.
I
movie.
feel like me and Clay have been very aligned on things. So if he sees it and he's like, "Oh, you got to watch this," then I'll take that. Take that for what it is.
Bringing up Green Knight after all these snubs on Golden Geek still fucking hurts me all the time, you know. Tayfield.
I don't know if I'm gonna be going to see this. It's yeah.
It's not Tay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for some assassin stuff. You know, it's always kind of cool. I appreciate the assassinating kind of killing thing is kind of like. I mean, that's how I took it. I'm pretty sure he's an assassin.
Yeah, the gardening is just like a front.
I didn't even take gardening as a front. I took it as like you can kill people, but treat it like cooking. Treat it like kind of like an art. There's a science.
No, he definitely puts the
behind it.
bodies like under a tree and then plants a tree.
Yeah, I just took it as
That
like
makes
the
more
term,
sense.
like you paint houses, like that sort of idea.
They should have showed that better in the trailer, in my opinion, because I was lost.
That's what I got from even when you said like when he starts taking off his shirt and he like has tattoos. Even before that, they're
Sigourney
like,
Weaver, he's just like flashing her. I'm like, man, they're getting it on in this
even
scene.
before that, they're like, how many people have you killed and stuff like. They were talking about assassination.
Everybody
before
has a
they-
past. I thought it was just like this
I've
guy
got
getting
that
better
question
or
before,
something.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's fair.
Well, yeah,
Did they ask you that?
I just I don't have much of a pull towards this film, so I don't know if I'm gonna be like racing to go out and see it. But I mean, again, Joel, he brings the pain. He knows how to deliver his roles, and I mean, maybe at some point in time I'll get around to seeing it if I'm in the mood. Sometimes in the summer days I feel like I want to see something that's like with gardening related, and maybe I want to see what he's up to in this flick. So yeah.
What other movies are you watching that are gardening related?
Man on the ledge. He steps over a couple gardens.
No
and
gardening
stuff
in
like
there.
that.
No,
All
no
right.
gardening.
Let's get to
Serious
our evil.
movie, Travis.
Let's get to our Evil Dead rankings here. All right,
Ba-ba-boom.
let's whip around the room here. Start with scenes because this time we'll leave films last. 'Cause I feel like that lots of times people know it, but I feel like that it's a bit more mixed and stuff like that. So Dylan, give me your top 5 Evil Dead scenes if you have them.
Okay. I don't. Mine aren't really ordered.
Okay, that's fine.
And to be honest, actually, I want to hear some of yours because I want to see if I forgot any good
Okay,
ones here.
that's fair. Taylor, Phil, give them to me now. Oh, he's writing them down, aren't you?
Okay. My first scene, and again, this is like with you, Travis, I'm sure, was just the Evil Dead Rise title card.
I haven't even
I mean-
gone. Jeez.
That
See,
title card is just
I
great.
did
good
include that.
one.
I guess it is a scene. I would probably include that now because that's a GOAT title card. So
Just
yeah,
say like the intro cast, like they're like them dying or getting killed. You could call.
I
that
wouldn't
the
see.
scene.
I wouldn't put that in top. It's just
we
the
just
title
full open
card.
spoilers on this movie. Just came out. I don't know. We want to be.
Well, they released the title card online though, at least, because they are pimping that out. They released the HD version of that because they're just like, look at this shit, because they know everyone's like, fuck, this is like cinema right here. So they're like, hey, you want to see 10 seconds of our movie? And
The
plus,
audio too. Oh.
and plus, it's already on VOD next week, which is fucking crazy. It's just like, well, May 9th, that and Mario dropped the same day, so quite the double feature. So okay,
That was
so
7 days ago, right? When we watched that movie? In
literally
theaters?
7 days ago. Yep.
Wow. Crazy. Yeah, I would agree.
Go
That's a
go
great
ahead,
scene.
Taylor. List off all your 5. We won't go one. We won't go
Okay.
one by
I didn't
one.
even
We're
do
all-
5.
we're
I
at
just
2.
like
That's
I was
fine.
just thinking of
We're all
going
gonna
to
review Taylor's picks individually.
Yeah,
and then-
yeah.
So that was
what
my
this
number
is.
one.
We're
So one of my
already
number
over 2
2.
hours.
Sorry, are these ordered?
Yeah, that was my number 1.
That's your
My second
favorite Evil
place.
Dead scene of all time.
I really, really liked it. It
Jesus
just felt
Christ.
intense. When you
No
see in the
way.
title card, you can see like the
That's a John
Necronomicon
Krasinski
like
moment right
ink
now.
writings and stuff in
It's
there.
not as
like,
bad as Krasinski. I think this one's more worthy than Krasinski. You know, I'll give him that. So you're number one.
Number
a great-
Give you
2,
1 star on that pick.
Evil Dead 2, Buried in the Cellar, Henrietta. The whole scene
Oh,
here
yeah.
where they're basically the recording is playing like I buried her in the basement, and then Henrietta like comes up and Ash is trapped down there. He's like, "Let me out," and she's like, "I smell a soul" or whatever like that. That just is seared into my brain. It's fucking terrifying, but like in a weird addictive way. Like you can't take your eyes off the screen. You just watch it because Henrietta is just like totally like practical effects. It just looks horrendous, like just freaky shit. Again, so my number 3rd spot here, again, Evil Dead 2, Ash versus the Hand. I love everything about that. It's just so wacky and wild, and I still to this day don't really know anything else that I've seen that has that similar kind of just craziness. And again, just Bruce Campbell's acting deliverance for that too is just absolutely fantastic. Number 4, it was another Evil Dead Rise thing. I don't know if I should say it then because of spoilers.
Nah, don't say. Say in the most non-spoiler way.
Say it in a way that someone who's seen it knows what you're talking about, but someone who doesn't.
The only way, of course, the Deadites
The death
can come
of.
in to these films is through the reciting of the words from the
Okay.
Necronomicon.
So that scene.
And so the way they tackled that in Evil Dead Rise, I really, really liked it. It was really, really cool. And I think it had a lot more of anticipation too. I'm probably biased right now because I saw it recently, but it's just the excitement of just coming back to the world, just having that intensity build up from it. And then number 5, Evil Dead 2013, the raining blood when the demons rising out of like the ground, coming after Mia. There's just all that blood and everything just going super, super crazy. So yeah.
All right, I'll go next because I got 5. So I did originally have Mia in the basement because I love all that stuff. I love the box cutter, but I'll replace with the title card. The Rise stuff I might get there eventually, but I don't have any in the top 5 because I feel like there's going to be something with the main Deadite in there. I just haven't really narrowed it down. I need another watch there. So that's why I'm fine to put the title card here because it's kind of like a good placeholder. But that title card is just, yeah, that's a thing of beauty right there. Number 4, I actually have just because we talked about so much, and it's not a brutal scene, but it is the introduction to Ash to the people in Ash or Army of Darkness when he's talking to everybody about the boomstick and he's talking about Jack and shit. Like it's just like a slew of good one-liners, and it's just Bruce Campbell being the ultimate. Even though I got him coming up again, I think that's a very fun scene. Even though it's not my type of Evil Dead, I like the more darker stuff. It is a home run there. But like I said, that could get replaced with a Rise scene maybe once I see it again because I'll be watching that next week on VOD. Number 3, I got the very first Evil Dead, the very first time they experienced a Deadite, and as I said on that review, that term of like "look at her eyes" that's been something for Evil Dead that stuck with me. So that's where the makeup's not as good, but that idea when it was just like the cellar, and it's the whole thing they're putting in there, but that cellar's coming up and you just see those eyes peering through, and it's the people reacting to it. Really like the first, I'd say like the first transformation to Deadite. That's what I'd kind of list it as. Number 2, I got Bruce versus his hand, or I guess Ash versus his hand. The whole thing of sawing it off when he's looking around and the room's going crazy and it's just Bruce Campbell at the top of his game. And then number 1, I got the ending of 2013's Evil Dead. I love that with the blood rain, the chainsaw to the head and the house is on fire. Like that whole set piece is just chef's kiss. It's just so great. And it's just, when I look, I'm like, man, they must have, we read it right in the trivia, like how many gallons of blood they had to go through. So yeah, that's when I think of Evil Dead, that's the scene I think of, because I just, every time I go, oh, man, this movie's fucking crazy. So that's my top 5.
Right on. So yeah, like I said, I didn't have 5 here, but I wrote them in order of like the ones that popped in my mind first. So I guess you could kind of call that my rating. So I'm gonna start at my number 1, like Taylor loves to do, which is that Hush Little Henrietta sequence in Evil Dead 2. That is just like that whole like idea of like that creepy old lady trapped in the cellar, and just like that line, swallow your soul, like that's just been like such a part of my family like running joke, because we like all watch these movies together back in the day, and just like it's just a constant, like we're always just making that joke of like swallow your soul. Like I feel like I've been in Airbnbs that have just had like a cellar door like that, and then you just take a photo, it's just like Granny's down there, and like it's just a reoccurring thing. But anyways, I digress. Very, very iconic. After that, I have I can't even remember if it's the same scene that you pitched, Travis, with like the first time that they turn and the eyes are changing in Evil Dead, like the first one, 1981.
Yeah, I think so,
But like the one that I wrote down was when they're doing like the nursery rhymes, and I think it's Linda is just like singing like that like song of like we're gonna get you, and it's just like, it's like comedic, but like also terrifying at the same time. I feel like it's maybe more comedic because it's just dated at this point in time, but just how like like the Deadites are just completely like playing with like their victims here, and it's so fucked up. So I wrote that down as my number 2. Funny enough, I actually had a Ash vs. Evil Dead scene in here with the little ashes. That was so great for me. Just all the Bruce Campbells.
Army of Darkness, you mean?
Armored Darkness,
Yeah, sorry. What did I say?
Ash vs. Evil Dead. I almost did
Okay,
that
no,
too,
I didn't watch that, so I love that sequence. I have another Evil Dead 1981 scene with the basically like the ending when like the whole like there's like blood coming out of like everywhere. It's not as crazy as the 2013 version, but like the blood is coming out of like the lighting fixtures and just like everything, and then like it's just balls to the walls chaos at the end there, from the original movie. So I threw that one in there. I have Ash versus his hand and Evil Dead 2. Just such a great sequence. I actually threw in the Evil Dead 2013 Mia tongue sequence, but you can kind of just pair in the whole Mia like in the base. I know it's like a big portion of the movie, but just all of those scenes of Deadite Mia just fucking with them, like trapped in that cellar. I feel like that probably is my favorite Evil Dead trope, actually, is like the creature trapped in the room, like somewhere that they can't actually get to you, but they're just mind fucking you constantly, of like just shit talking you, or maybe turning to the human and like just talking in the human version. But yeah, particularly like the visual of Mia just like staring at them, doing the weird shit with her tongue, licking the leg. So just cemented in my brain. And then I threw an Evil Dead Rise scene in here.
How many are at here, Kirklin? I feel like this is like
7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not at 20.
Okay.
I can get 20 if you want. I can list every scene.
I just lost your numbers at this point. So
I don't have numbers, so
Okay.
yeah. And then Evil Dead Rise. It's coming off fresh in the brain, but I had without spoilers, just the hallway scene. If you know, you know.
There you know.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
I have one that you guys didn't have. That's interesting. So my one honorable mention, I'm just gonna say Mom's Cooking from Evil Dead Rise, which I guess you guys said is maybe a trailer sequence, but just an honorable mention for me on that one. Number 5 is we've kind of called the Henrietta sequence from Evil Dead 2. That's my number 5. Number 4, I have the mini ashes as well from Army of Darkness. That's just amazing. Just great stuff there. Number 3 is going to be Ash versus his hand. So I think all of us had that one. It's a great one.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Number 2, shouts to S-Pubs. This is where I have the siege of the castle. This is a very long sequence, so you want to call it a scene, I don't know where you'd start and stop in terms of that, but fuck it. I'm going to put it at number 2 and just say the siege of the castle from Army of Darkness, of course. And then number 1 for me is going to be Raining Blood from Evil Dead 2013. That sequence is crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, films. I guess I should pull my.
I'll keep going here because mine's
Sure, yeah,
very easy. I'm gonna go. I just went 5 to 1. Now I'm gonna go 1 to 5. Number one for me is definitely Army of Darkness. That's my jam out of these movies. Just so weird and bizarre, and just a total mess in the best way possible. I love it. Number two, I'm gonna put Evil Dead 2013. For what reason? I just think it's great. It's a great horror movie. Really well done, great effects and all that stuff. Number three is we're gonna put Evil Dead 2. I think it's just a much better execution of that first movie if you want to look at it that way. Some really memorable scenes, some craziness, some over-the-topness. Bruce Campbell's fantastic. Number four is where I'll put Evil Dead Rise. If you go back to our review, it's still pretty fresh. I was kind of disappointed by the movie, and I think in the days since, I'm just kind of affirmed that. Like, it didn't really move the needle much for me, and it's too bad because I wish I liked it more than I did. And then dead last easily is the original Evil Dead. Not good. Didn't hold up. Didn't like it. Never gonna watch it again. And yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go the reverse because I'll flip it there. My last, I got Army of Darkness, and then I got Evil Dead 2, which I know for some people they're gonna be rolling over their grave. But as I've said before, I think that's not a big spoiler. I prefer the more darker stuff, so it goes Army of Darkness last place, fourth Evil Dead 2, third the original Evil Dead, second Evil Dead Rise, and then number one Evil Dead 2013. Which it feels like sacrilege not to put like any Raimi film up top, but just the way I go. I love the stomach turning, gross, just like nightmare fuel stuff that just sticks with you. And all of them have them. As you can go back in the reviews, all these are, I think they're all 8.5 or above. I love the Evil Dead franchise a lot, but yeah, I just lean towards the grossness of 2013 and Rise. So, but yeah, 2013. That's still to me like the most special one out of them. I think that was like almost, I guess not perfect because if people want the comedy, 2013 is played very dry. Like there's no comedy at all. But I was fine with that. So but Ash. Great character, that's why we didn't really do character rankings because like it just would be Ash from this movie.
Ash is my number one. Yeah,
Yeah, he's my number two.
Number
Little
two,
Ashes,
and
yeah.
The mom 3, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
maybe Mia's
Throw 'em
up
back,
there.
sir.
Gotta be. Yeah. So starting from the bottom, number 5, I have Army of Darkness. After this was actually really, really tricky for me to order these, like splitting hairs, because I really, really, really love this franchise, and it was so fun to go through this with you guys, and yeah, great times. So after that, number 4, I have the original Evil Dead, 1981. Yeah, just has been improved since then. Great starting point. Started it all. Great stories around it. After that, I have Evil Dead 2013. Phenomenal movie. Number 2, Evil Dead Rise, and my
Rise
favorite
above
Evil Dead
13.
movie.
Ooh.
Yeah, my favorite movie of the Evil Deads is Evil Dead 2. Probably big part is that Henrietta sequence. It's been such a family. It's weird to say that, but like it's been weirdly a part of my family for a very long time. So yeah, Evil Dead 2, phenomenal.
Nice.
My number 5, The Evil Dead, first one. It's down there. Yeah, I just couldn't.
If you guys were 3 for 3 on Army of Darkness last, I would have cried myself to sleep.
My number 4 is Army of Darkness.
Yeah. Okay. A shocker there. Yeah.
My number 3, Evil Dead 2013. My number 2 is Evil Dead 2, and that was very, very close. This is very
Wow.
close. My number 1 is Evil Dead Rise.
Crazy.
I really like that, but again, it's just by like a margin higher than Evil Dead 2 because I'm with you,
Margin.
Kirklin. Evil Dead 2.
I prefer butter, Taylor.
Yeah.
I prefer butter.
A margarine.
Can't believe it's not about margarine.
But of course, at the end of the day, I am with you, S-Bubs. Ash vs. Evil Dead above all of them. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably rank. I'm gonna rewatching it, kind of in the Evil Dead mood. I'd probably. I don't know. It's somewhere with Army of Darkness because it is more comedic. I'd probably put it last. Like I hate to say that, but it's not that it's bad. Same thing. I still have that like at 8 or higher. Ash vs. Evil Dead is very good. It's just that I like Army of Dark. I think it's funnier for me, and it's hard to compare because it's 3 seasons of a show. So, and but You'd put Ash vs. Evil Dead at number 1, Taylor.
I love that show.
If you include the show. Wow.
Yeah, it was great. Holy shit! It touched upon so many good beats from that original Evil Dead. You get a lot of cool returning things from that franchise popping up in there. Things that just kind of like fit in nicely. And
That's just surprising. You have Army of Darkness at 4, but you'd put that at 1 because I feel like Ash vs. Evil Dead usually goes with Army of Darkness.
I liked a lot of things with Army of Darkness, but my favorite part was when he was in back like S-Smart, like in his store, that present day, post Army of Darkness Ash, and that's what you get in Ash vs. Evil Dead is that.
Gotta watch
Bill
the,
never saw that. Yeah.
The alternate.
Yeah, no.
That's why it's number 1 for me. That alternate cut is wild.
Look at that. I don't know what, because we just did the John Wick's rankings lately, and we'd have to go back. I'm sure it's definitely happened, but the fact that no one had the same number 1 is quite interesting. Everyone had a different one.
Hey.
So I'm sure it's happened maybe once, but I feel like there's always at least one like combo of people that have the same one. So that might be a first. But there you go. We've done it. We've ranked it. The next thing we'll be ranking for movies wise will be Indiana Jones. That'll not be till the end of June, but we'll be seeing those 4, and then we'll rank the 5. That one I think we can probably do characters because there's a bit more versatility there and stuff like that. So thank you for tuning in to this newscast, bigger one, but we had lots to talk about today. When you hear from us next, it'll not be boring.
Peace.
See ya.